Yeah, The Irishman just feels like Space Cowboys of gangster movies.
Welcome to SinCast, presented by Cinemasins.
All right, everybody, welcome to the SinCast. This is Chris Atkinson from Cinemasins, joined as always by the voice of Cinemasins, Jeremy Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I mean, we've done this like 190 times. I'm running out of options.
Yes, you are. And from Music Video Sins, Barrett Share.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, it's, at this point, we're just going to say, hey, what's up?
Zoink.
Hey, yeah.
Zoink. Today, we are going to do our fall preview.
You lied. And I died.
When you bring me out, can you introduce me as Joker?
Whatever you need me to do, I'm available.
Your journey nears its end.
Here are the movies that are coming out. For sure, there's not going to be any change to this schedule whatsoever. All of this is set in stone.
Especially at Astra.
Yeah.
Even though like 2 or 3 of these you heard on the summer preview.
Yes, you heard a couple of these on the summer preview.
Like at Astra.
Yeah, like at Astra. And Playmobil, the movie.
Yeah.
But we're going to be doing the fall preview today, and let's go through some movies. All right, so September 6th kicks us off with a big one, It, Chapter 2.
Are you excited about this?
No.
I had an idea why.
I can't put my finger on it.
You loved the first one, right?
Yeah.
You loved the first one, right?
Yes. And the trailer for this, the second trailer, out fucking standing.
Yes.
Yes.
But it screened for critics
Uh-huh.
about 5 days ago. And the reviews were all over the place.
Really?
Like, I don't think they were official reviews. I think that's embargoed still. So it's basically the Twitter review where they go.
Yeah.
And I saw one that said, outstanding, great follow-up. I saw another one that said, the first 30 minutes is awesome, but then it kind of wanes. And then I saw another one that said, it's a mess. And it's so all over the place. It kind of gives me that.
I will say that I very much want to see Bill Hader.
Yeah. He's Richie, right?
Yes. Yeah. I want to see him because I know that I get the sense that, 10 years down the line, we're going to be thinking of Bill Hader as this great actor.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's still sort of like trying to get out of the Saturday Night Live, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people who've seen Barry and things like that know he's more than just Saturday Night Live stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But having seen him in documentary now and Barry and all this, I want to see him in a role like this. And so I definitely want to see him there. Of course, I'm very big Jessica Chastain fan, so I want to see her too. I don't know. I don't know what it is. The trailer is outstanding, but I don't know what it is about this movie that's making me not be like, I got to see that on opening weekend.
Yeah. No, I understand. I've got a little twinge of that. I think I'm a little more excited because I just recently watched the miniseries from 1990, and it reminded me where they go with this and how poorly they did it in 1990.
Yeah.
But what potential it has, especially depending on how much they cut back and forth. Hopefully a decent amount. I'm wondering, though, because it's a sequel wholly dependent on having seen the first one, not wholly dependent, but very dependent on seeing the first one.
It's pretty close.
Like, do you think it's going to come anywhere near the box office from the first one?
Well, the first one made a lot of money, so
Sure did.
If they even get 75 to 80% of that audience back, then yes, it will make lots of money.
And I think the first one's audience grew on home video. Like, I think there's people like me didn't see it in theaters. And I'm, me, I'm not even really a typical big horror buff, but this one has so much atmosphere. There are moments of the first It that are like that quarry scene where they jump and swim is as good as any nostalgic youth film moment I've seen
it's
ever.
Perfect.
It's dreamlike.
Yes.
And so I think it'll make about what it made before. I do think it'll make a shit ton of money, but I'm a little reserved going in.
This might be one of those type of movies that like breaks the September record like the first one did, like opening weekend, and then it will fall sharper. Like I think, it'll probably fall sharper. So I don't think it will make as much, but it will be close.
Because it was over like 700 million or something like that. Wasn't
Worldwide?
it the first one?
Yeah, it was up there.
I don't even remember actually. I know it was one of those that, if you sequester it to a month, the September of all time type of thing.
I thought it was like the highest grossing horror movie.
I believe that's probably right.
It's also, the second one's going to be 2 hours and 49 minutes, which I don't really care. I mean, it's a Stephen King adaptation. Those are usually run long.
Look, can we just admit that Stephen King writes books that are too long to be easily adapted into movies?
Yeah, I mean, it begs a treatment like this. And even that miniseries that was 3 hours long total felt rushed.
But The Stand, the one with Matthew McConaughey and the gunslinger.
Oh, my God, that was a fucking shit show.
It feels like a lot of his shit needs to be TV series.
Yes.
And we keep movieizing them, and I don't get it.
Well, I mean, when it works, it's novellas, right? It's Shawshank, it's The Green Mile, it's Stand By Me.
Yeah. Misery works fine. Some of his stories are, but like
that's a shorter book.
Even The Dome, was
that
turned into a
series.
TV show. So I just think he writes epic, big stories that are hard to. And so this is going to be 2 hours and 49 minutes. My God.
Yeah. First one made 700 million worldwide, almost on the dot. 327 million domestic. Its opening weekend was 123 million.
Wow.
Domestic?
Yes.
Wow.
So I'm assuming that this one will probably do right around that, if not more. And then it'll have a little bit sharper decline. The last it declined 50%, which is great for a horror movie.
Sure.
Horror movies usually drop 60 to 70. So I think it'll probably be around that. I mean, if it makes 150 million on the opening weekend, then even if it declines, it'll be 250, 260 somewhere in there.
That means they'll make a third one.
That'd be hilarious.
That's when you start making it the universe, right? Like, okay, we've adapted the book. Now we're going to start new stories with it.
Yeah. Well,
I
mean,
pops up every 27 years.
Exactly. He's coming back again in the future.
Yeah, we're gonna have like a science fiction-y It, where it's like
it's like Jason going to space.
Yeah.
It 3D.
Yeah, that's basically what it's going to be. Probably.
I'm going to see this opening day for sure because I think there's too much there. Andy Muschietti was great in handling his material in the first one. The cast was perfect in the first one. So if they come back to that, then it'll be nice to see like that camaraderie. You got people like you said, Bill Hader and James McAvoy. We've seen he's got chops, and Jessica Chastain. So I think there's a lot of potential there. I agree. There's a little tinge of what you're saying with me too, but I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah. So September 6th is It Chapter 2. We'll go on to September 13th. Yeah, nobody wanted to compete against It on this opening week. So September 13th brings in Hustlers. There's been a lot of this kind of thing lately, right? Where like women scorned go back and like it's the Widows thing.
Did you see Widows?
Yeah, I did.
That movie's weird, man. It's like an hour and a half of setup and then a finale episode. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it all right, but it felt like it kept shifting and changing, and it didn't feel like it didn't cohese. No. So this one is not the one with Anne Hathaway and the British chick.
No, there was The Hustle that came out earlier.
Okay,
she's Australian, isn't she?
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah, I think she is.
British, Australia, same diff.
By the way, I have been reminded that the word is cohere, not cohese, but we've sort of made that our own.
Yeah, I think that was the point, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm only saying it to say the wrong word.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everybody that that's our thing, and that's not what we think the word is. So Hustlers has a big cast as Constance Wu, Jennifer Lopez, Julia Stiles, Keke Palmer, Cardi B, Lizzo.
Okay, so you started off naming actors, but by the end you were naming performers from last night's VMA episode.
Yep. Yeah,
that's already a bad sign for me. But when half of your main cast is pop stars.
Yep. It's something where they like decide to be a part of a strip club to get to some sort of information or something. I'm seeing the trailer. I'm not exactly sure what the plan is here.
It looks like they're stealing money off the top of their credit card.
Oh, so it's the money is coming from the strip club then.
Yeah, from the clients, from the
clients.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
And this is, it says it's based on a true story. The scores is like the franchised strip club, like Deja Vu or something like that. The McDonald's of strip clubs. Is
Okay.
Scores.
Yes.
And this apparently, or something approximating this, did happen. It's got a chance, I guess, to be good, but it doesn't look
September 13th.
Yeah.
Kind of buried.
Yeah.
Also, chain strip clubs are weird to me because the only reason franchises really work in restaurants is because you can imitate the product.
There's uniformity, right?
And you can't have uniformity of product when your product is strippers.
It's titties and butts, man. It's titties and butts. They move the same way. They have the same regulations. They have the same cleanliness on the strip pole.
But let's say you go to Deja Vu because you like Mandy. Mandy strips on Tuesday night. You love Mandy.
Mandy's awesome.
Then you find yourself in L.A. on business, and there's a Deja Vu. There's no fucking Mandy.
There's no Big Mac, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. It's that whatever you're going to your local strip club for, going to another city, you would not go to the same name strip club just because it has the same name, because you know as a man or woman that the product inside is not the same. It's different.
I got you. I see where you're going.
I think most guys... I've been to one strip club once.
Really?
I am not... It was a bachelor party. We went across the border to Canada. It was a Detroit wedding.
Like, hey, buddy. Hey, you want a lap dance, buddy?
It's a foreign strip club from Canada.
It was a Detroit wedding. We went across to Windsor. It was called the Cheetah.
Nice.
And we were mostly trying to embarrass the groom. Ended up embarrassing all of us. It's not the groom. The groom was like, this is awesome. Anyway, I feel like if you're a guy and you go to a strip club regularly, it's because you've kind of fallen in love with one of the particular dancers, right?
No. I mean, maybe somebody is, but I like the variety myself. Variety is the spice of life. You don't want the same thing. I really
thought it was personality driven.
You don't want Big Macs for every meal. You want to try the fillet of fish. You want to try the nuggets. You want to dip it in sauce.
Yeah.
All right, this analogy.
Anyway, Hustlers.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know what to think about that movie. Then there's a movie called The Goldfinch coming out.
Yes. I could not make heads or tails of this.
I couldn't either.
No.
It looks like a kid is going to the Museum of Art with his mom, Metropolitan Museum of Art, with his mom, and there's an explosion, and then like he grows up to be Ansel Elgort.
Yeah. And date another girl who was at the explosion.
Yeah, and then he hangs out with Jeffrey Wright, and Jeffrey Wright accuses him of something at the end of the trailer.
See, I think I turned the trailer off before Jeffrey Wright showed up.
Yeah.
Oh. Because that's a good part of the trailer.
It looked like a teen... It looked like a sick teen romance, only it was going to be PTSD instead of an actual illness.
No, it looks much different if you get through the entirety of it.
Well, what is it? Does he turn into a spy?
No, there's apparently like more influence from Nicole Kidman's character, from Jeffrey Wright's character. The older girl looks exactly like Dakota Johnson. That I was like, there's no way that's not Dakota Johnson. It's not Dakota Johnson. But it's
Dakota Smith.
Yeah.
It's Dakota Fanning.
Yeah, it really just seemed tonally to not really speak to me as to what it's really going to be about.
It's got a good pedigree. Roger Deakins is doing the cinematography on it.
And John Crowley, who did Brooklyn, directed the movie.
Yeah.
Well, and Brooklyn was outstanding.
This looks interesting. I don't really know what's going on, but it looks really interesting. Great cast. Worth a look, I think.
I do think... Go ahead.
No, it's just one of those trailers, though, that just... I don't know what the thing is in the trailer, and if there's anything that I have learned over the years about trailers is even though you don't want them to tell you the whole movie, which we did see a few of those.
We did.
But it doesn't tell you enough. It doesn't tell you what the movie's about. There's a lot of series of images and people acting serious, but like nothing that... What is this movie about? Why am I going to see your movie other than you put a bunch of stars in front of me? So that's the one thing. It does look good. It's not going to be something that I'm going to be like racing out to go see. No. But
I'll tell you what, and Finn Wolfhard looks so much like Timothy Chalamet these days.
He does.
So I was like, it's got to be Timothy Chalamet. Nope.
I actually thought Ansel Elgort was
Taron Egerton.
Yeah,
I did too.
I did. Because the glasses and they cut his hair down. I thought, oh, that's the Kingsman.
Or like that dude from Love, Simon, or
yeah.
There's a lot of these like clones coming out. Then there is a really low budget horror movie called Depraved coming out. Larry Fessenden did. These like really lo-fi type of horror movies, man. I know that there are people who get into them. Like they look like they're shot on video and crap. it's hard for me, man. It's hard. It's really hard for me to get interested in that type of stuff.
Yeah.
September 20th, we have Ad Astra, which we did discuss in the summer preview. James Gray, who did Lost City of Z, Two Lovers, We Own the Night, and The Yards, directed this one.
No Marky Mark in this one, though?
No Marky Mark,
That's
which is weird. Yeah.
That's weird. The trailers for this are actually... It looks like a movie that could be good, but the release date history of this film really suggests it's going to be a mess. But there does look like some really interesting imagery here. There's basically what looks like a high-speed moon vehicle chase on the surface of the moon where they're fighting between two vehicles. There's a couple of shots of Brad Pitt out on some 1,000-foot ladder dangling in space. So there's some visually arresting stuff here. Thematically, I don't know. Dad's in space, going away in space. It feels very Interstellar-like. So I'm expecting a mess, but I would love if it turned out to be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones plays his dad, and it's funny. I noted that Donald Sutherland's in this too, so it's like Space Cowboys.
yeah.
The Space Cowboys reunion.
Just need James Garner.
Yeah, just need James Garner to show up. Clint Eastwood. But yeah, this is another one where you're just kind of like, okay, the fate of the world rests on whatever's going on out there.
Yeah, and
I don't know what
person.
it is. Yeah.
Love? All right, who's been messing with this thing?
Yeah, exactly. My secret ingredient is love. So, yeah, I don't know what to think of this either. And again, release date history, they've pushed this back. We discussed, and I think we got confirmed that it was all because of that Disney-Fox merger thing.
Yeah.
But they're still coming out with it on September 20th, which is not a good release date. If they were truly like adamant or passionate about this movie, it would be like first week of October.
Yeah.
Where they tend to come out with these type of movies.
When Gravity came out.
Yeah, Gravity.
It seems a lot like Gravity, First Man, like Interstellar. Like, yeah, why didn't you delay it a couple weeks or something like that?
Who knows? But I don't know what to think of it. Then there was a movie adaptation of Downton Abbey, which I did not realize was happening.
Yeah, I only know because I saw the cutout, the standee out.
I only know because my wife is obsessed with Downton Abbey.
Is she really?
Yeah, she loves it, man.
Did you ever watch it?
Just sitting with her a couple of different times. It's like, old British people in fancy clothes drinking tea.
But the people that are into it are fucking into it.
Well, what it does really well is the class dynamic, because some main characters are the rich people and some main characters are the house workers, the housekeepers or what have you, and how different life can be for under the same roof. But yeah, no, it never got my interest, but it has a rabid fucking fan base.
What's The Favorite?
This will do as good. You and I are going to tangle about that more than we ever did about Seinfeld trivia. Favorite. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm not excited about this at all. I've never watched I think I watched one episode of the series once. It looks gorgeous. It looks like it's exactly what Downton Abbey fans are going to be hoping for. Be interesting to see if this has the kind of like following that I'm comparing it to something like Sex and the City when they came out with their movie. Like Sex and the City had
probably about
huge opening weekend. I remember working in New York at the time. Sex and the City. Now this might have been a New York thing. I don't know.
I'm sure that helped.
But we like theaters that I visited had sold out of Sex and the City weeks in advance on Friday and Saturday.
Wow.
But I don't know if Downton Abbey has that kind of rabid
I don't think it does, but I don't really know. My wife has found like 16 other shows that are very similar, and she's been pouring through them on PBS and Netflix, and like she's now really into like old British shit.
But she doesn't like The Favorite?
No,
because that was not historical. That was...
No, everything in that happened.
Yeah. The bunnies in particular.
Yeah, especially the bunnies. Rounding out September 20th, we have Rambo Last Blood.
Yeah.
What a dumbass title.
Yeah, although I will say this looks fun.
It looks fun. It looks borderline terrible, but I think it's going to be fun.
There's been this sort of movement, and I have, not that I've seen a lot of these movies. Schwarzenegger was in some sort of like movie when he came back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what I'm talking
The
about?
last stop in New Mexico.
Town, yeah.
Something like
last
that.
town on the left.
Kind of, yeah, last town on the left. There, and then Logan is another one that I think of in this, where, you know, it's old dudes, you know, kicking ass and maybe I don't know if he's not. It doesn't look like he's passing the torch to anybody. This is like an all or nothing, like Last Stand type of thing.
In the
he better
trailer,
fucking die. If you call this movie The Last Blood, he better fucking die at the end.
Well, what it looks like from the trailer is it's set up as more of a First Blood type premise.
Exactly.
As we said, First Blood is like a cat and mouse type of thing. Everybody's hunting him, and he's finding inventive ways to do it. This looks like that on a Rambo Part 2 scale, but like it's in a singular location.
It looks like The Equalizer with Rambo.
Yeah, actually,
on a farm.
Exactly, yeah.
It just reminds me of all, you know, I don't know, like Hard Target even, you know, stuff like that, you know. But yeah, there's something about this that's like, this might be fun. Yeah. This might be fun to watch.
Did you like the last Rambo? Wasn't it called Rambo?
It was just Rambo. Like, I think they were trying to call it John Rambo for a while, and then it ended up just being Rambo again.
I never saw it.
Because there was never a movie actually just called Rambo.
Right.
That's the one that's like way over the top gun violence.
Yes, it is.
Right?
And I've told the story a couple of times where I watched this in New York as well. Had an usher with me who, like, they got to the scene where Rambo is like just absolutely tearing through like hundreds of people, and it's just like blood hitting the screen and chunks and all that and everything. And the guy's like just sitting there going, oh, throughout the whole thing. And I'm sitting there watching it, just laughing at his.
I want to watch it with this guy.
Yeah.
But was it decent? Like the Rocky Balboa, I thought was very good, and it set up great Creed stuff.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
It was totally fine, and it was real short too. It was one of those like movies that's like an hour and a half, but it's got 20 minutes of credits or something like that.
There you
go. But
for all the people that died.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm probably won't be there at the theater watching it, but when it comes out on video, I'll probably be all over it. September 27th. Okay, so I've included Netflix stuff in here too. Okay. The big one on September 27th that comes out on Netflix is The Irishman.
Oh yeah,
the Martin Scorsese movie that I've heard for about 15 years. It feels
just
like.
about. Yep.
It puts Pacino, De Niro, and Pesci all in the movie, plus a million other people. And it's a Jimmy Hoffa tale, but De Niro is the Irishman that's in this, who is like a handler of some sort or whatever. But consider me in for this.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've heard rumors that this movie is 3 hours and 45 minutes long, though.
I'm glad it's on Netflix then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and the headlines this morning, of course, this episode will come out 6 days from the headlines, but the headlines were that apparently they are not going to do a wide release theatrical for this movie.
Okay.
Which they wanted to do because they wanted it to be an Oscar contender, but the theaters really hate Netflix and are demanding this like 60, 90-day window or what have you, whereas Netflix wants to put it out in theaters and then like a week later give it out to Netflix fans. So I don't think it will end up being awards worthy or eligible.
How did they do Roma?
I don't know, limited to wide. Maybe they'll do the same kind of
most
thing.
Of the time,
it wasn't wide.
Most of the time, they put it in a couple theaters in New York and L.A. and then they pull it out.
Also, I read that De Niro had to call Pesci like 20 times to get him to do this movie.
Why is he not doing movies?
He hasn't done movies for like 10 years or so.
There was a point where Louis C.K., when he did that series that was you could only get through his own thing. Yeah. He tried to get Joe Pesci to act in that too. And
Joe Pesci didn't know who he was.
Yeah, well, and then Pesci ended up like giving him advice or something like that. But he said, "No, I don't want to do anything." And yeah, so I'm assuming it took a lot of
wow.
You know, and if you're De Niro and you can't get Pesci after 20 times, know Louis C.K. wasn't going to get it.
Yeah, no kidding.
A lot of people don't realize also that De Niro is part Irish. He's got that Italian name, but he's mostly Irish. In fact, I think
he was Irish in Goodfellas, wasn't he?
Yeah, something like that.
Because that's how he couldn't be
He
made.
couldn't be made.
Yeah.
But that's something you just attribute to his character. You don't attribute it to the actor. But that was a thing that I saw on a trailer. I watched the trailer again on YouTube, and somebody wrote a comment like some real snarky ass something like a 19-year-old would come up with. I'm going to do this. Marty says I'm going to do this movie called The Irishman. I'm going to hire the best 3 Italian actors to play and everything. And there's a ton of people in there. They're like, De Niro's Irish. You're stupid. De Niro's Irish. You're stupid. But I'm definitely watching this. Written by Steven Zaillian too, who is a star screenwriter.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of those though. It's got so much going for it. It might suck.
I think it's gonna suck.
You think so?
Listen, I feel like the older great directors get, the more self-indulgent they get.
Sure.
Like, did you see Silence?
I did not. Did you see it?
I saw it. I wouldn't call it bad, but that is a movie he wanted to make for years and years and years. This was like his magnum opus, and it was just kind of there and really slow. And I just wonder, it's 3 hours plus, 3 hours, almost 4 hours. I'll just watch Goodfellas again.
Well, it is fine. I mean, there is something to be said about the economy of story, and that was my main criticism of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, is that yes, I understand why you did that, but if you had been a little more judicious with your cuts, maybe you would have reached a wider audience like me that would have liked it a little bit more. But Tarantino's not a young spring chicken anymore, and he's getting a little more self-indulgent as he goes, too.
Yeah, The Irishman just feels like Space Cowboys of gangster movies.
It's probably going to be the exact same quality.
Oh my god! Yeah, I mean, there's enough. There's enough when you see this trailer to be like, I could see this going the wrong way.
Yeah.
But I'm watching it. So,
Oh yeah.
Scorsese, even his worst movies. I mean, did he make Hugo?
Yeah, and that's not a bad movie.
That's not a bad movie. I mean, Mean Streets, Taxi. There's just his worst movies are still really good. It's like Tarantino when we were talking about that.
Yeah.
It could suck for him, but it's still I'll still watch it for sure.
The big release that's coming out, in fact, I think it's the only big release on September 27th, is the animated movie Abominable.
I watched this trailer.
Yeah.
About 20 seconds in, I said, boy, so it's How to Train Your Dragon, huh?
Yeah.
And then they flash up this from the makers of How to Train Your Dragon. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's a long line of cartoons that have been coming out lately where somebody is out of their element and they have to go find their place. Like Fish Out of Water is like the biggest thing going on in animation right now.
I got a different sense from this particular one.
Well, really?
Yeah, because to be honest, they
do go back to his place.
Well, yeah, I think I'm thinking more about like the central character, who I think is Asian American, and her brother. I got a very big like Kubo and the Two Strings, because her father is passed away, and like he taught her how to play the violin. There's a lot of like musical stuff that goes along with this, and I mean, say what you will about How to Train Your Dragon, like the animation was amazing in that.
Well, the first two movies I thought were great. I just it looked like Hiccup and Toothless again to me, to watch this girl and the abominable snowman kind of interact. And
I bet you there's a little bit more to this story than your standard like Arctic Dogs that we'll get to in a little bit.
Arctic Dogs.
I'm going to see this one with my son. He's excited about it. And I get a little more meat on the bone for this, just from the trailer.
And plus, it's been a while. It's a pretty good release date for an animated movie, because it's been a while at this point since anything kid related has come out. And that's always a tough thing during the September to May movie season, is they have a hard time coming out with these kids movies, because they're like, oh well, they're in school, they're not going to the movies, even though Friday, Saturday, Sundays
there's still weekends.
There's another movie on September 27th that won't have a wide release. It's called Judy, and it's got Renee Zellweger as Judy Garland.
Tell you what, I don't know much about it. I just know some people aren't happy about it.
Oh, because of what? Like they portrayed her?
I think I read that somebody in Judy Garland's family is not happy with this movie.
Well, you know what? I have this feeling that there's no biopic that anybody's going to be able to make that the family is going to be happy about.
You're probably right.
Especially if you have warts in there at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not surprised again that, they made a movie about somebody and then probably went too hard in one direction.
Well, I mean, there's some rumors about Judy Garland's life.
Oh yeah.
And, if they want to show any of those skeletons, then yeah, sure. The family's not going to want to hear it. Mm-hmm. I get that. Maybe it'll be good. Sounds like an awards bait kind of thing. So
maybe. Yeah.
Okay. So The Day Shall Come is also coming out this week.
Mm-hmm.
This is an Anna Kendrick joint.
I saw the trailer.
Okay.
Did you see the trailer?
Mm-hmm.
This movie looks fucking bonkers.
It feels very much like the kind of material we get from the guy who made Veep and Death of Stalin.
Mm-hmm. Armando.
I don't know if he's connected to this at all.
No, I don't think so. But Marshawn Davis, who's I guess a newcomer, is playing like this, like a Black Panther televangelist type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's preaching the revolution. There's a lot of absurdity in this.
Mm-hmm.
Anna Kendrick is like an FBI agent. She's working with Dennis O'Hare, who's like the boss, that they're trying to figure out how to bring this guy in on this terrorism charge, but also give them information. And he's a fucking character.
Oh, yeah?
Like he's out there riding on horses and like preaching about how like they're going to call up the dinosaurs to attack as soon as like.
Because
the trailer absolutely hooked me. I'm going to see this movie.
Anna Kendrick says it like halfway through the trailer. She's like, I think they may be harmless after all, or something like that. And then later they blow that horn or whatever, and she's trying to calm down all the people. She's like, that's just the horn they used to call the dinosaurs. Don't panic, everybody. It does look really, really funny.
Yeah, somehow through all the stuff that I looked at, I didn't run across this movie, but it's supposed to come out September 27th as well.
Yeah, it's one of those like lesser release things, but it really grabbed my attention.
Yeah, it'll probably make no money, and then people will love it 5 years from now.
Right.
I mean, I found a bunch of lesser releases, but I didn't find that one.
Yeah.
And this is one of them too. October 2nd is a movie called War, which it looks like it's an Indian produced movie where it's like martial arts and stuff like that. Yeah. So that was a little. I mean, it was interesting to me because I don't think I'd ever seen anything like that. It still looks like a generic action movie, but maybe it could be one of those fun, like, oh shit, this came out of nowhere type of movies too. So I thought that was worth mentioning on October 2nd. On October 4th, the big one is Joker. What do we think about this?
I'm souring.
You're not going to go see it? I'm going to go see it.
I didn't say I wouldn't go see it, but also I don't go see very many movies in theaters anymore.
That's true.
I catch a lot of them at home when they come out on Blu-ray or when they hit HBO because the theater makes me anxious. I don't think this is one that I'm going to want to go. I just think this movie's coming out at the wrong time.
Yeah, you mean in the sequence of Batmanology?
No, I mean with our culture where it is today.
Oh.
Yeah.
And we're going to see an angry white guy lose his shit and start committing crimes.
You're on in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right.
It's not like that's not who the Joker has been. It's just, again, exploring this backstory has never been very interesting to me. I don't know what you can do to make him more pitiable to me or more human to me, because I know the monster he becomes, and that kind of washes away whatever, like if he was nice to a baby once, yay.
Well, yeah, it goes back to the Patton Oswalt thing, right? Well, I don't really care where my favorite characters came from. Just give me my favorite characters.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to watch this too, but I'm going to have some reservations going into it. Joaquin Phoenix obviously is going to kill this.
Yes. Yes.
We know that. The question is this going to be worth our time in the end? Is this something that's worthy of, is this going to be a good movie?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, looking at the trailer, and I'm like Jeremy, I've kind of soured on it. We saw the first trailer months ago was when they first came out with one, and they have that same one since. And I'm like, what's the hook for this movie except that it's Joker?
Yeah. It depends on how much are they going to show him losing his shit versus how much beating he's going to take on the way in there. It's like what we were talking about with Django. Like, we want to see the revenge part with that character. We don't need to see all that build-up necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
With this one, it looks like, from the trailer at least, there's a lot of build-up.
Yeah.
And...
yeah, it looks like that's all it's going to be. And then by like the last 10 minutes, then we're going to see Joker stuff.
Yeah, and are we rooting for him at that point? Because there are times where you root for Joker as a character, but that's also largely when because he's fun. It's not because he's sympathetic, you know?
Yeah.
But it's amazing. This is yet another attempt to make a Batman movie, well, Batman universe movie, like a regular film.
Yeah.
And it's Joker again. Is he the only character we can do this with?
Yeah, I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
Is everybody else too way out there?
Well, even the other gritty Batman that's coming is with Pattinson is rumored to have the Penguin and Catwoman in it again.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like there are only 4 or 5 viable Batman villains to put on film, which couldn't be further from the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Do that Court of Owls bullshit. That shit rules.
The what?
There's a run. Night of the Owls, Court of Owls. Basically, it's revealed there's this secret society in Gotham, almost like a Star Chamber, that Michael Douglas movie I was telling you about, where they decide who needs to be punished, and they send out their assassins to punish them. And basically, Batman and his crew crosses them, and this run goes all throughout Nightwing's comics, and I think Catwoman's comics, and Robin's comic, and... because it all converges on this one night where the Owls are trying to kill them all. Batman and his whole crew, and replace him with their own vigilante.
Well,
it's a good run.
Okay, so yeah, there are interesting villains that we can do this with.
Lots of really good Batman villains you could use. That was just one.
Another big one coming out, not as big as Joker, but another big one is Lucy in the Sky. Noah Hawley, who's known for the TV show Fargo, directing this,
and Legion,
mm-hmm. Starring Natalie Portman and John Hamm. And this is, I feel like the movie is basically saying Natalie Portman goes to space, something happens to her up there when she goes back to Earth, things are just not right.
Yep. Now this is based on this. I'm really excited about this from a head standpoint. I don't know if the movie's going to entertain, but the ideas it wants to talk about are awesome to me because. Real astronauts have reported being out there in space and seeing the size of Earth and realizing how tiny you are in the grand scheme of things makes life different when you come back. Mm-hmm. And that's what this movie is about, that she finds it hard to go back to normal life as a human after having had this experience of feeling so insignificant. And then I think it probably makes her go off the rails a little bit. Yeah. But also, she and John Hamm are making out.
Yeah, they are.
They're like doing stuff.
This is like the more nuanced version of Steve Buscemi in the
Armageddon,
where he gets the space crazy.
Yeah.
Michael Bay didn't handle that very.
Well, she's not going to get space crazy. She's just going to come back to Earth and fuck John Hamm.
I agree with you. I am into this concept for sure.
And of course, Noah Hawley's got a great track record for me. Fargo is an awesome show, but I think gets overlooked for how awesome some of its shots are.
Mm-hmm.
That season 2 overhead shot of dude running through the woods while he's being chased by the killers is one of the best things I've ever seen. So, I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this too, although it's another movie that you're like, I'm not quite sure how to put my finger on what's going on here, but I think that's basically the gist of the movie.
I will say, if the song Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds plays during any portion of this movie, I will take some hits. I'll take some points off this movie.
It's playing during the trailer.
Well, that doesn't mean it's going to play in the movie.
That's true.
Because the only reason you're calling this, you've named the character Lucy.
Yeah.
She's not going to take a drug trip.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Then there's a couple of other minor releases. Pedro Almodovar is coming out with his new movie called Pain and Glory. It's got Antonio Banderas and Penelope Cruz in it. And it looks like your typical, very good, solid Pedro Almodovar movie.
It's a sequel to Pain and Gain, right?
Yeah, totally. Pain and Gain and Pride and Glory. Then there is a movie called The Current War.
Ooh, I can't wait for this
which is a huge cast of awesome people. Benedict Cumberbatch plays Edison. Nicholas Hoult is Tesla. Michael Shannon plays George Westinghouse.
What's the problem?
Here's my problem. They filmed this movie 2.5 years ago.
Okay, do you know why they moved it back?
No.
Okay. So
do you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's hear it.
So this was a movie that was being made under the Weinstein Company when Weinstein got the Me Too movement against him. So
the delay may not have anything to do with quality.
May not.
Okay.
Now, yes, obviously, still this movie has been pushed back 2 years. So you do have to wonder if there is maybe something else in all of this. But I have a feeling that it rode that sort of like, we don't know what to do with this now. You know, our chief isn't going to be able to, and then they're going to have to figure out rights and all that other stuff if it's not with the Weinstein Company anymore. So the trailer looks awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did have it. There is a caveat. It did have 2 years to make it to us. So there might be something in there, but I think more towards, I'm leaning more towards that Weinstein's.
All right.
I hope so, because you're right. The trailer looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Even Tom Holland is in this, and Catherine Waterston, your girl.
Yeah.
So I'm down. Nicholas Hoult looks like he's killing Tesla, by the way. He's got that nice, maybe not Bowie level of Tesla, but like he's got a nice like grip on the accent and all that stuff. He looks quirky. It's fun.
And it's it's about electricity, and it's the war about current is not like, I mean, yeah, it has a double meaning, but it's more about who can come up to the market with the system that gets us our electrical grid and everything. And that's why Tom Holland's in there playing Samuel something, one of the businessmen that's in here.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of businessmen that are in there. They're trying to like capitalize on what kind of system that they're selling and everything. Of course, they even show in this thing, I didn't even know the thing that they showed in the Prestige was based on anything. That those lights out in the field, I didn't realize that was a real thing.
Yeah, from my understanding of reading very little Tesla, but from what I've read, I think that's based on something. For sure.
Yeah, so there's a part in this trailer where you see the lights out in the field and everything.
Well, they're in the snow though, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So I think, I mean, water conducts electricity.
Yeah.
So it may just be as simple as that, right?
I don't know.
I mean, back in the 1800s or whatever, yeah, it's mind-blowing. And it looks cool in the Prestige.
Yeah,
it does. But I think it's just water.
I don't know.
Water is a conductor.
Where's the power source? Exactly.
It's coming from inside the house.
October 11th, the animated The Addams Family, with a host of awesome voice talent like Charlize Theron and Chloe Grace Moretz and whatnot. This looks awful to me.
I was kind of excited from a conceptual standpoint because you can get away with a lot more of the goofy stuff in the Addams Family, especially like the morbid, gruesome stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, the animation style, while being different, is just is weird.
Yeah. I believe that the studio coming out with this is called Entertainment Studio.
Yeah.
It's some new outfit. So, we don't know what to think of what they're, we don't know if they're like Illumination, which is what I thought this was at first. The trailer just looks like, hey, let's bring the Addams Family into 2019. Why don't we?
Yep.
And so a lot of the jokes come off like that, and I don't, it's not in my cup of tea. And we always criticize Disney for doing the live action, but there's all these like animated remakes coming out too.
The
like,
Grinch.
Yeah. So like it's just it's I don't know. The trailer didn't do much for me.
Me neither.
Also on October 11th we have Gemini Man, directed by Angley, starring Will Smith and Will Smith.
Yep.
And digital Will Smith.
Digital youngened
Simone Will Smith.
Yes, Simone Will Smith. This is interesting you say that because Andrew Nicole is a writer on this movie.
Yeah.
Also David Benioff and Billy Ray, who's known for Shattered Glass, Breach, and The Secret in Their Eyes.
And Old Town Road.
What?
Billy Ray?
Billy Ray, yeah.
Old Town Road.
Are all writers on this. That's a weird combination. David Benioff, Billy Ray, and Andrew Nicole. And there's like a couple others, I think, that are in there. Anyway, yeah. Didn't you get a Looper vibe from this?
Yeah. It's definitely a Looper vibe because it's the guy trying to kill a older version of himself. I feel like, because all the talk around this movie is about the technology,
Mm-hmm.
it makes me think the movie's not going to be any good.
Right.
And I also think every time I hear somebody say we had to wait for the technology to be available in order to make this movie, it makes me think you made it 2 years too soon. The technology may be available, but it's brand fucking new. And I bet you there's going to be more uncanny valley than you realize.
So what is the technology?
Well, the younger Will Smith, who is in the beginning of the movie at least, chasing down the older Will Smith to kill him, is entirely CG.
Mm-hmm.
It's not... he didn't mocap for it,
Mm-hmm.
wearing a suit. It's an entirely computer-generated character, face, body, movements, and all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can pull off a whole movie like that. Like,
Yeah.
it's probably going to look fine in the fights and the motorcycle rides.
Yeah.
But when they're standing in a room just having a conversation, I think it's probably going to be troubling. I don't know.
It could be.
Cool idea.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where it feels like the idea almost certainly is going to end up being better than the end product.
I'm not excited by this trailer whatsoever. I mean, when you have new technology in the hands of like James Cameron with Alita Battle Angel, which I really liked, and Ang Lee could probably, he's probably going to have a good grasp on it, but you can only take it so far, right?
Well, I just, again, I like Ang Lee. I applaud his trying new things, and sometimes it works really well. And, the Billy halftime walk didn't work so well for
but
me.
Life of Pi did.
I didn't like Life of Pi so much.
Yeah, I got you.
And that fucking tiger looked fake as shit. I don't care what anybody tells me.
It does now, for sure.
Well, yeah, that's the problem, right? So
Yeah,
Gemini Man's going to come out, opening weekend. Oh, that looks great. By the time it hits home video, it's going to be outdated technology.
It
that
is
looks
kind
bad.
of interesting, though. Like, you see Ang Lee, and he's got such a long list of great movies, but there are enough bad ones on his list where you're like, this could be one of them.
Well, even Hulk, I like watching Hulk, but not because I think the movie's good, just because he took so many chances in how he decided to display that movie that I think it's refreshing. So again, it's not always going to work perfectly, but maybe it'll be, I don't know. But why is it Gemini Man, but the space program always calls that one series of ships Gemini?
Yeah, I know.
Drives me crazy. Anytime I watch any kind of Apollo 13 or space from the Earth to the Moon, any kind of, they call it Gemini.
That's the only place I've ever heard it referred to as Gemini.
But they all fucking do. Even First Man refers to it as Gemini.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah, it drives me crazy, too, because isn't it Gemini?
It is Gemini.
The astrological sign is Gemini.
I'm guessing what happened was there was some like redneck astronaut guy who called it Gemini, and it stuck.
Yeah, let's just call it Gemini.
Yeah, it's like whoever Fred Ward plays, Bud Grissom. He's probably the one that's responsible for Gemini.
Old Bud called it this.
Yeah. Then we have Jexy.
Oh boy.
The team of John Lucas Scott Moore, who did Bad Moms and Bad Moms Christmas, also wrote the Hangover movies. It looks like it's Adam Devine, and he's got a phone that talks to him, and it's just like her, and he can't really live his life, like she's like his girlfriend, even though she's not. And so, like, there's scenes in there where he's trying to get with this one girl, but the phone is getting jealous and everything. And so, yeah, I saw the Red Band trailer of this, and it's like, I don't know what to think yet. I don't know if this is going to be funny or horrible.
It really is only those two options.
Yes.
There's no middle ground here.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be horrible, and I like Adam Devine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that he has a good picker when it comes to movies.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen him in a movie yet where I thought the movie was good.
Yeah.
And he's it. That's pretty much the only thing we have. Like, I feel like if you showed me this trailer and it was like Will Forte or somebody that had like a better background or more chops or something, maybe even like a young Will Ferrell, I would be like, A+, this is going to be hilarious. Funny concept. Stick the landing. But I'm not
you're
feeling
right
it
about
here.
that. I think I laughed my ass off during this trailer. You're absolutely right that it's one of those two extremes. I think Rose Byrne being the voice of the phone, even though it's a monotone, there's already some really good lines. Now those may be all the good lines and all the good jokes.
Yeah,
but I hope it's good. But I'm guessing it's going to be bad.
I mean, it doesn't feel like the kind of movie that has the goods.
Yeah. So I'll watch this because I'm a comedy person. So
also, you can't pick a better title. Like, maybe the phone's name is Jexy or whatever, but this is a fucking stupid title for a R-rated comedy. where your operating system becomes a possessive girlfriend.
Yeah.
Jexy.
Yeah.
People are going to go to the movies and not even know what the fuck that is when they see it on the marquee.
What should it be called? Man Loves Phone?
I fucked my phone. I don't know.
Ooh, I fucked my phone. I love
That's
that.
a Lifetime movie.
Yeah, it's a Lifetime movie. Then we have, on October 11th, we have Parasite, which is the Bong Joon-ho or Joon-ho Bong, however you want to order that, who did Snowpiercer and The Host. And it looks like it's about a guy who poses as a tutor for this wealthy family, and there's some sort of profits that happens from this. But it seems like there's something, going on that the trailer doesn't want to exactly reveal. This has been getting great reviews. The IMDb has it right now at 8.7. Of course, that means a lot of early people have come in and voted, so it hasn't gotten to its normalized rating yet. But this guy has made some great movies.
Yeah, I have not seen The Host, but just on Snowpiercer and Okja, which he made for Netflix, I'm curious about whatever he makes moving forward. So, and we had one of our Sinflowers saw this movie and tweeted out about how fucking awesome it was, and I came under, this was like 2 weeks ago, I was like, wait, is it out? Like, I love this guy's movies. How did I miss this? He's like, oh, no, I got an early screening. And I was like, oh, that would have been nice for you to tell me that.
I'm on board with this.
But yeah, I'm totally interested in this movie.
Yeah. October 16th, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. I don't know if it's a wide release on October 16th, but it's coming out around then, and it's going to have the Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back as a double feature thing. And watching this trailer, it's interesting. Like there's funny moments about reboots in this.
Yeah.
But you're also, I don't know what's going on.
I mean, there's self-referential humor in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back.
Yes.
And that actually took me a minute to warm up to. The first time I watched it, I was like, it's a little too insidery kind of thing. But now it's become lovable. I kind of worry that now we're going back to that same well and being referential about the referential movie.
Yeah.
And, there's you like Tusk, right?
I like an hour of Tusk.
And a lot of people do,
Yeah.
right? And there's stuff to like about Yoga Hosers, but even by his own admission, he's just making the movies that he wants to make. It's not necessarily like I'm trying to uphold a brand. He's just having fun.
Yeah.
And so, I don't have my hopes up for this to be a continuously beautiful movie.
No, I'm not either, but I'm going to watch this for sure. Because Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back is such one of my favorite comedies that's come out in this millennium or whatever. So
I also think I'm going to give this movie credit for reuniting Ben Affleck and Kevin Smith, and I'm glad that they are friends again.
Yes.
It makes me happy.
Then on October 18th, there's a slew of well, I guess it's overreaching to say a slew.
Would you call it a slew or a plethora?
Yeah.
Would you call it a murder?
Yes. A murder. But there are 2 sequels coming out, and they are sequels to movies that came out to me a long time ago.
Yeah.
Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. You didn't remember that Maleficent came out 5 years ago.
Yikes.
That's how long ago it was.
And was also pretty not good.
Yeah, I didn't like it, but it basically told Disney that they could do this crap for forever and ever. At least with Maleficent, they tried to make something different to an existing story.
Yeah.
Whereas now they just, we got that cartoon, let's just remake that.
So does we think this new Maleficent sequel is going to be the Sleeping Beauty story we know? Since the last one was kind of like a prequel to that?
Doesn't look like it.
No,
It looks
this
like
just looks like a continuation. And again, Maleficent is doesn't want Elle Fanning to marry this dude. For some reason. I don't know.
Jealousy,
yeah. She's
jealous.
Maleficent. It's in her name.
That's right.
And she's the Mistress of Evil, so that's the reason. But yeah, Elle.
I thought Elvira was the Mistress of Evil.
Oh, that's could be. I think she was, wasn't she? Wasn't she Mistress of Evil?
She was Mistress of something.
Mistress of the Darkness.
Mistress of the Darkness.
Okay, close enough.
But no, this is one of those trailers that nearly made me fall asleep.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously an audience for this, but it ain't me.
Yeah. Then there's Zombieland Double Tap. Remember the last movie came out 10 years ago.
What is the point?
Yeah.
What is this is one of the dumbest reboot, sequel, nostalgia cash-ins of all of them. Like, this is dumber than Fuller House. This was like...
Come on. No. I'm not going to let you get away with that. Come on. This is not dumber than Fuller House.
From a premise standpoint, yeah, it is.
It's more zombie kills. That's what people were interested in.
It's more Full House.
It's Fuller.
It's Fuller. Now the kids have kids.
Yeah.
I don't care. I've seen these four fight zombies and have a comic adventure. What are you going to do that's going to top the first?
I totally agree with you.
This is capitalizing on the cult success this movie found after it hit home video, and it knows it's going to make good box office for what it is, and that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody involved in this movie is like, this movie needed to happen.
No,
it's like Bill
no.
and Ted 3. We're making Bill and Ted 3 because Keanu feels bad for Alex Winter.
I do like the marketing in this trailer where they go in and all four leads are Academy Award nominees.
Yeah.
Even Abigail Breslin.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think you're absolutely right. I think it looks fun. Dumb and fun.
Yeah.
But see, there's a difference where I really want to draw I'm not saying the movie's bad.
Yeah.
I'm saying the idea to make it is creatively void and vapid. You can make 10 Zombieland movies. They might all make you chuckle. But everyone after the first one is derivative and not original, not creative.
I agree with you, and I'm still excited.
All right. Okay.
This one adds Zoe Deutsch to the mix, and
you think Bill Murray's going to be back?
I know he's going to be because I have looked at the IMDb and it said he's credited. So
I'll be curious to see how
at the end that their doppelganger. Oh, Luke Wilson.
Yeah,
and
then there's Thomas Middleditch, but I didn't understand the ending of that trailer because remember all these guys are coming out. It's after the truck has like parked on top of the other truck, I guess. And so like he's talking to Luke Wilson and then Thomas Middleditch comes out and Emma Stone says in that comic trailer way, "Am I hallucinating?" And then it cuts and I'm like, what? Wait. What?
Oh, because they're mirror images of each other.
Are they?
Like Luke Wilson is speaking in the same way that Woody Harrelson
Well,
is.
yeah, but she says this after Thomas Middleditch shows up on the screen.
Because he's the mirror image of Jesse Eisenberg.
But they don't, I guess.
That's what I got from the trailer.
Guess. I mean, it would be better to see them all like mirror images of each other rather than, oh, Thomas Middleditch is supposed to be Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I mean, I didn't even get that from the trailer. I was like, what? I had to rewind it. I rewound it twice to go, why is she saying, why am I hallucinating? It's just Thomas Middleditch, and it's just Luke Wilson.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I read yesterday? The Mad About You revival. Richard Kind is coming back.
I welcome him in anything.
Richard Kind's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he is. But you guys didn't. I'm trying to piss on remakes and
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. I'm still pissing on the remake.
I love Richard Kind, but I don't want Matter About You or whatever they're going to call
he'll
it.
have a little bit of splashback from the P. But
Furious About You.
Yeah.
Are you interested in this at all?
What?
Zombieland 2?
I mean, yeah, not to go to the theater and watch it, but I'll watch this eventually. A couple other movies of note coming out. One called Jojo Rabbit that Taika Waititi made.
I'm going to go ahead and slap a maybe sticker on this one.
Yeah?
I've already read a couple of reports that some Disney execs may not want to put this movie out, and this was acquired under the Fox deal. And I've already seen at least one think piece that said, see, people, this is why corporate synergy is bad. Now we have this edgy art that we may not get because corporate advertising sensibilities. Now, it looks bonkers. This is basically a kid whose imaginary friend is Hitler.
Yeah.
Being played by Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Taika Waititi? Waititis and butts?
Yeah.
And, he's got a track record enough that I'm very curious to see where he goes with this. But subject matter-wise, I wouldn't be surprised if this gets, like, a super limited release and just goes under the radar.
I think that's very likely.
Yeah, the movie is about... So Scarlett Johansson's in this, and she plays the mom of this kid that's in there. and she's hiding a Jewish person in the house, and that's what the story is essentially about. But yeah, it looks bonkers, that's for sure. And yeah, I mean, exactly what you're saying, right? Like these movies, when you have one company and one voice sort of like saying this is what we can watch and what we can't, we're getting closer and closer to that, right?
Yeah, right. Like there's some Disney exec who's going to hold up the Jojo Rabbit and then hold it up alongside like the Little Mermaid remake and say which one of these is more marketable to our advertising partners, which one is more palatable to our family-friendly brand. I've already seen the most recent Deadpool 2 director talking about how a PG-13 Deadpool could totally work.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, well, whether they've told you to say that or not, this is exactly the kind of thing I was afraid of.
Yeah. Also coming out on October 18th, The Lighthouse, which is Robert Eggers of The Vitch
I just spill your beans.
Wow, I think I'm either going to be mesmerized by this movie or vomit after watching it.
It looks. This is the star trailer of everything that I watched.
Me too. Yeah.
The Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, who, by the way, I need to go back and start watching all of these movies that Robert Pattinson has developed this sudden like respect as an actor and everything. I knew he was good even through Twilight, but a lot of the movies he's made are stuff that I just haven't quite been able to get my hands on, and then I'll forget about it. But he's quietly developed this reputation as this awesome actor. And he's going toe to toe with Willem Dafoe in this, and it looks interesting. The lighthouses, the way the black and white photography in this thing looks interesting. All the little situations that are going on that you're like, what's that? What's that? Holy shit! What's that? It looks like it's going to be funny and weird, and I'm all in for this. I really want to see it.
What if at the very end it's revealed to be part of the same The Vitch universe, and that fucking goat jumps up and starts kicking people in the lighthouse?
Like humping them?
On his hind feet. Well, doesn't he like dance on his hind feet in The Vitch?
No, I don't think so. But you could say, I would say that the best part of The Vitch is the last part, because
I like how we refuse to use
oh yeah, fuck it. I mean, it's the way it is. Because it takes you on a completely different ride. Like up until then, it's conventional, it's weird, it's a little unusual, but like it's a pretty conventional like the Pilgrim type of story, right? And then it takes that turn, and the voice of Black Phillip and all that stuff, and the trance that she goes into, that's the best part. This looks like that last part of The Vitch.
Yeah.
And I'm down with it.
Yeah, man, it looks bonkers.
Yeah, so I will be excited to watch this.
This is the kind of original storytelling. Even if this movie does not please me, I would still rather go see this than Zombieland 2.
Yeah, I totally agree. I would too. A24 is continuing their hot streak. Now, I know Midsommar wasn't necessarily like universally received, but man, those guys,
They let their directors just go with what they want to do.
There's a movie later on in our rundown with Adam Sandler in it that I'm literally only interested in because it's A24.
Go ahead and talk about that, by the way, because I couldn't find a trailer and I didn't know what it was about. It's Uncut Gems is what it was called.
Uncut Gems, yes. It's not. There's not a lot of available on it. It's literally, I saw Adam Sandler's in it. It's an A24 movie. Literally, it's supposed to come out in December at some point. And it's getting to a point where I'm going to watch a movie solely because of the studio that released it. Annapurna was like that for a while. They've kind of not had a perfect track record. But yeah, I mean, I'm down.
Yeah. Okay. October 25th. There is a movie called Black and Blue coming out. That's about who's the main character?
Naomi Harris.
And
Tyrese.
Yeah, and Tyrese. Naomi Harris is a new cop in the Training Day, mold. And this movie's almost exactly like Training Day, where like she stumbles on some stuff that she shouldn't see, and it's dirty cops, and once the dirty cops see that she's a witness or whatever, they try to kill her. Then she runs through this dangerous neighborhood where you have basically people who've been fucked over by cops. and she needs help from these people. And she only finally, I think Tyrese is the main guy helping her throughout the whole thing. So, but she's getting chased by the cops. And there's a line in there was, why don't you just call the cops? And she goes, that's who's chasing after me.
She's got body cam, so she was shot. I mean, the trailer takes you through what I think is the entire movie. She gets shot in her, and she's wearing a vest, and her body cam footage implicates these cops. And so they put out an APB to all the criminals to chase her too. So she's got the cops after her and the criminals, and the only person to save her
and the criminals.
Yeah,
where have I heard that before?
And the only person that can save her is Tyrese and herself.
If Tyrese is in it, I already don't care.
Yeah, it looks like an interesting premise where like the world is out. It's like The Purge basically, where everybody's out to kill you. But like I said, she starts fighting back and kicking ass in the trailer. You know how it's going to end?
Yeah,
with people in blankets sitting on the back of rescue vehicles, like every fucking action movie.
You may have noticed throughout this October preview, there haven't been very many horror movies.
Right.
In fact, none. The only one that's listed, and it doesn't have a trailer, which may mean it might not come out, is called Countdown. And it's about an app that tells you when you're going to die, and apparently a nurse gets the app and finds out that she's going to die in 3 days. So that's what the premise of Countdown is about, but I haven't seen a trailer.
It feels like the movie they make fun of in Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, how can a mobile phone kill you?
Yeah, it does. It's exactly right.
Who is the great authority on the other end of that app that fucking knows when you're going to die?
The devil.
Oh, fucking horror movies, man. I just watched
the devil's in the app business now.
Yeah.
I just watched Escape Room yesterday. Have you seen
like
that?
it, did you? I love it. Yeah.
I actually enjoyed watching it, but it's stupid.
You're going to end up okay. About April's going to roll around, and you're going to tell us that you've seen Escape Room 25 times,
and you're about to re-edit it.
Yeah.
Well, I will not argue that that's possible. I enjoyed watching it. It was very well shot.
Yeah,
but none of the things that happen make any sense. And that movie is already 10 times more logical and based in reality than this fucking app that knows when you're going to die bullshit. Dum.
That's true. That's true. There's another movie on here that has no trailer, but it has a huge cast called The Last Full Measure. Something about somebody getting the Medal of Honor. I know that Peter Fonda is in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Who recently died. But he's in it, and there's just a million others I just remember, and I didn't research it too much because I couldn't find much about it.
Yeah, there's really not a whole lot. It's literally 34 years after his death, Airman William H. Pensenberger is awarded the nation's highest military honor. It's Peter Fonda, Bradley Whitford, Sammy Jackson, Sebastian Stan, Ed Harris, Christopher Plummer, William Hurt, Diane Ladd,
Jesus,
Michael Imperioli. Like, there's a lot of good.
It's a great cast.
Yeah. Okay, guys, it's time to talk about BetterHelp.
BetterHelp.
That's right, and we have Jonathan Watkins with us today to talk about BetterHelp along with Barrett.
Yeah.
BetterHelp.
This is a heck of a service right here, man.
Yeah.
Online counseling. It's got such a great interface where you've got your counseling room where you take care of everything. Now, I have been a bad patient. I've lapsed. I had a couple of good sessions, and then I got distracted, and I just didn't sign up for the next thing for a matter of weeks or so. My therapist, the jewel that she is, reached out to me, not in an invasive way, not in like a bothersome way, just said, just checking on you.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
How you doing? And from that, only took her one time. From that, I was like, you know what? Yeah. And you know how much time it took me to book it? Like 30 seconds. I'm like Jason Schwartzman and Scott Pilgrim, like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And you know, I found the next available slot where I was available. It's tomorrow. And you know, Messenger said sorry, and she was like, no problem at all. And I like that. I dig that. Like the convenience of it, the fact that I can get I can be a little wandering, and they will gently say, if you would like to come back to the fold, here you go. And I think I'm back on track. So Jonathan, you have also been using this service. What has your experience been?
My experience has been great. I am someone who suffers from anxiety and depression, and and I have had a hard time taken the initiative to find a counselor. And plus, I'm not really I didn't really like the idea of sitting in an office and all that stuff, I'll be honest. So this just kind of made it a little easier. I think I would be more comfortable with that now that I've done this. But and it's also not easy to find a counselor.
No, it's not.
It's because I actually have tried to do that in the past, and I've been sent back with, I have too many patients, but I'll send you to this person, and then I kept getting beat around so much it started to get a little frustrating. This is a situation where you just sign up, and literally within like an hour, I had a counselor that was willing to set up an appointment with me. I think I had my appointment like a day or two later, and I've been doing it weekly since then.
Oh, you've been a good patient.
I have. Well, so I've had like 8 or 9 sessions, I think.
Wow.
I'm also having one tomorrow, and it's been a very positive experience. I can't recommend it enough.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome. Listen, I had a friend tell me 3 or 4 days ago they just started counseling, and it was a direct result of us talking about it so much on the podcast.
Are you serious?
Yes, and that's one of the best feelings I've ever had in my life.
That's amazing.
Because therapy helps me a lot, and I know it's a struggle to find a therapist that you click with sometimes, and that's one of the things this service can help with. I liked what you said about going to some office and sitting in this strange room, and how that can be a barrier for some people to therapy, whereas with BetterHelp, you can be in the comfort of your own home. And I think that's huge for people who have anxiety related, to where you are. And God, if one person gets therapy, then us talking about it is always worth it. And so for a service like BetterHelp to come on, because we've been talking about mental health for ages.
Oh yeah.
It's probably the biggest cause we champion as a brand. But then a service comes along like this that just fits so perfectly with what the message we're trying to spread, and fills in the gaps for a lot of people who aren't taking therapy right now.
Yes.
And you made the comment about it not being invasive, and if I can just talk about that, I like that too. Like, I never feel like I'm just like an hour for her to feel for her to stay on the service or whatever it is. It's always like, just whenever you feel like getting back with me, you can set the appointments up yourself. Their schedule pops up, and then you can just pop yourself in wherever. And that's actually nice. At first I was like, I don't know that I want to do that. I don't know why I didn't want to do it, but I've actually found that's actually kind of nice.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's the fear of the unknown. Like, if you go into a therapist office, which, most of us have, you don't know what's next. Like, they'll say, come back in a month, or come back in a couple of weeks, or something like that. And you're like, hey, can I fit that into my schedule, all that stuff? You can literally, it'll pop up in your counseling room, and it'll gray out the days that aren't available. And you can just pick the ones that are, the time, and then boom, you're awesome. Scheduled. That's it. They just sent me a reminder to my email, like, hey, we got one tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, what link can we give out for people who might be wanted to check this out?
Okay, BetterHelp.com. That's HELP. BetterHelp, all one word, .com/SinCast. Make sure you go to that URL. It could not be easier. You literally click the button that says Get Started underneath our logo and all that stuff, and you get 10% off your first month. This is affordable counseling and therapy. If you have any issues with that, they have options for that too. Just let them know. Don't let that be a barrier to this. Now, go through that URL, because that will help you a little bit, signing up on the front side. So you get 10% off your first month. If you are having any issues related to depression, anxiety, anything, anger, substance abuse, they even have LGBTQIA specific counselors, which is really, really cool, since we just talked about that fairly recently. We couldn't recommend it more. It's awesome. BetterHelp.com/SinCast.
November 1st, we have Arctic Dogs.
Oh, my God.
Now, see, this is the movie that I think Abominable will be transcending a little bit. I mean, I shouldn't use that word. That will be a cut above. Arctic Dog looks like just straight up trolls, ugly dolls.
Yeah.
Just dogs.
Is it like Iditarod dogs?
Yes.
Didn't we already
they're supposed to be. They're like Iditarod dogs in training.
Didn't we already have Balto?
We did.
We did.
And
I think Balto was
20
all right,
years
too.
ago.
I think Balto had a sequel too.
Yeah.
And then, how many fucking sled dog movies do we need?
I don't know.
And Paul Walker was in one. Cuba Gooding was in one.
8 Below was the Paul Walker one. And Snow Dogs was the Cuba Gooding.
Yeah, I don't think we need any more.
I agree.
But it's about a delivery service or something like that.
I mean, if every person who's ever run in a snow dog race goes to see this movie, it's going to make $10.
Well, I mean, it's a fish out of water thing. They're supposed to be delivering these things in the sled, and they've got to pull the sled, but they're not sled dogs, so they got to figure out how to sled.
So they're city dogs?
I don't know. They're mail service dogs.
I don't know. It's something about delivering a package and to a secret location, and then they stumble on this big, huge world of, I don't know,
Arctic dogs.
Crime. I don't know.
It looks like crime. It looks like balls. I think it's got one of them stunt casting things. Yeah, I mean, actually, they do have a good voice cast. Jeremy Renner, Alec Baldwin, Angelica Houston.
Renner is the main dog.
Yeah, James Franco's in it, and John Cleese earning that paycheck.
I mean, Alec Baldwin's pretty much at that point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Boss Baby.
He was.
He's just taking the paychecks.
Yeah.
A lot of butts in that Boss Baby.
Mm-hmm.
Weird amount of butts.
Yeah, weird.
Then
we have Harriet, which is about Harriet Tubman. And
Harriet?
Yes.
Hard-hearted harbinger of haggis.
This was Harriet is directed by Casey Lemons, who we talked about last week. Cynthia Erivo, who plays who's in Bad Times at the El Royale, is
the singer.
The singer is in this, who plays Harriet Tubman. Leslie Odom Jr., who played the original Aaron Burr, and Hamilton is also in this. And Janelle Monáe is also in this. Harriet Tubman biopic, and looks good.
It looks awesome.
Yeah.
She's immediately portrayed as, once she gets freed, her ass is going back.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, what are you doing? And she's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And it's the trailer alone will give you the chills when you think about this is the beginning of the Underground Railroad, and this is how important it was. And if she didn't do it, would it have been done?
Right.
I'm down with this movie.
Yeah. This looks really good, and I want to see more of this Cynthia Erivo because she's great in that Bad Times.
I'm feeling a little bad about the "So I Married an Axe Murderer" song I sang after the title.
What? No, it's fine. I think it's fine. I did the Harriet.
Yeah, but I didn't know we were talking about this. Now I feel bad. This movie seems important.
It does.
All right.
Another big Oscar contending type of movie, Motherless Brooklyn, that Edward Norton wrote and directed and stars in.
Oh, Jesus. That means we're going to get stories in 9 months about how much of an asshole he was on set.
Yeah, maybe. But this has like Bruce Willis and...
It's like The Irishman.
and Willem Dafoe and Alec Baldwin. Somebody who somebody texted this trailer to me, and they said it looks like the big Wes Anderson connection because there's a lot of Wes Anderson people in it. But Motherless Brooklyn, I think Bruce Willis is like a crime boss. He gets shot, killed, or something, and then Norton has to figure out something. I don't remember what it is.
He's a private detective.
Is he a detective?
This is like,
and does he have turrets?
Yeah, he's got the little ticks, and they actually save that. He's got a few of them early in, but then they do like a brief montage of all of his ticks. No, not in a weird way.
I saw the trailer.
You didn't like it?
I'll tell you why I didn't like it, because I'm going to say something inappropriate, and I just know it. In the score, a heist movie, he plays a criminal that has invented an alter ego of a mentally disabled person. I think he says what it is in the movie. I can't quite remember. And he has gotten this job where he volunteers at night at the museum to mop the floors or what have you. And that's the in for the heist. In this trailer, he's doing the same kind of thing for Tourette's as he was doing for this guy in the score. And it makes me feel like Ed Norton, the man, has only one understanding of mental disabilities.
It could be. I mean, look at the one that he did with Richard Gere. I mean, he had an alter ego there too. which was a little more pervasive, I guess.
I didn't
get that
man.
sense, but I've never seen the score, so I didn't get that sense.
Well,
in this
let me
trailer.
just say, Ed Norton writing and directing a movie where he's the star and he has Tourette's feels a little bit self-serving.
All right.
I want an Oscar, damn it. That's what it feels like to me.
Is this movie problematic, though? I didn't see anybody commenting about that in the trailer, but when I saw him doing the Tourette stuff, this was the first time in a long time I've seen someone who doesn't have a disability do a disability and started feeling weird about it.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of Tourette's patients, and it didn't seem exploitative to
Okay.
me. But
then you can cut this whole thing out then, because
no, it could be. I mean, I could be misreading it.
It was the first time, like, if I had seen this trailer in 1999, I wouldn't have given it a second thought.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't have had that same thing. Now watching it in 2019 and considering what we've learned and all this, it almost feels like, it feels almost offensive.
But he's playing, from my understanding, he's playing it up until you see that kind of collection of ticks and stuff like that. It seems like he's playing it just like a regular PI.
I think
right?
the more people who watch this trailer, we're going to start seeing stories about that.
Maybe so.
Yeah,
because that's interesting.
Like I said, I didn't go into this going, oh, well, here's this Edward Norton. He's doing something stupid. And like, oh, yeah, exactly what I thought he was going to do. And
hey, look, it's Bart, and he's doing stuff.
Yeah, he's doing stuff. It was more like, oh, here's a trailer. I started watching it, and as soon as he went into those ticks, I was like, oh. I don't know. Something hit me. Like, this doesn't seem right.
Actually. Yeah.
This is also only the second time Ed Norton has ever directed. The first one was Keeping the Faith, which is a early 2000s just okay.
Yeah, just
rom-com with Ben Stiller and Jenna Elfman. I don't have any faith in this movie. I mean, it's possible I might have a thing with Ed Norton. It's possible.
Yeah.
Maybe I've heard enough stories. I don't like this idea of... I liked it better when I didn't know he wrote and directed the thing, man. Now that I know that, every choice I see him make I'm gonna question.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
perhaps the biggest movie coming out on November 1st, but I don't have very many. Like, I don't have any hope for it. I guess is Terminator: Dark Fate.
Oh, I don't have any hope. Why would you have any hope? They made two good Terminator movies, great Terminator movies. They made one that's okay that Jeremy really likes. And then they made some
they
shit.
should have stopped at Terminator 3. It should have been done.
Yeah,
that was the perfect ending. It loops right back around to the beginning. Thematically, it's perfect.
I understand why they did Terminator Salvation, because they could still like say, well, this is the story you didn't see, blah blah blah. It still sucked. That last Terminator Genesis was horrible.
Yep.
That didn't need to be made at all.
Mm-hmm.
And now this one where they're saying, I guess Genesis didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, let's get Linda Hamilton back. I'm glad she's back, but man, this trailer looks awful.
It looks awful. The CG looks bad. Now maybe they'll fix that.
Mm-hmm.
But like when the dude's on the truck behind Mackenzie Davis and he's like jumping at her with the spear or whatever, he looks like Rubber Neo.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I just and the way they're plastering James Cameron's name on this trailer, and he did not direct the film.
Right. Tim Miller, Deadpool.
Remember, James Cameron said Genesis was one of the best Terminator movies, one of the best movies he'd ever. He loved it, and it's a piece of honking shit. Why did he love it? Because he makes money to say he loves it, because he knows that brings in people and his bottom line goes up. So from James Cameron doesn't mean shit.
Yeah,
doesn't mean shit.
This is a world that I'd like to see more of, but I feel like the way this story is all set up, where somebody's coming back in time to stop something from happening and everything, was perfectly encapsulated by the first two Terminators. And then the third one, even though I don't think that needed to even be made, exactly as Jeremy said, had a perfect ending. They just can't seem to tie up this loop for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why that's a problem. Like once they've killed evil, then the loop should be sewn. There should be no way of getting back.
This is like the opposite end of the thing you were talking about with Patton Oswalt, which was when he was talking about Darth Vader. Don't show us the origins of our favorite characters, just show us our favorite characters. And then the Terminator movies is doing like, look, it's your favorite characters. You should like it. Arnold's in this. Come watch it. And it's not enough, man. You got to give me a movie. You got to give me a story.
Yeah.
Look, Linda Hamilton's back. Yay.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Did the last two movies make money?
Genesis, I don't think made. I think it lost a lot of money. In fact,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you're not even. It's not like a Toy Story 4 or something like that, where like you can bank on it being a $1 billion movie. They're not. They're not profitable. Why keep doing it?
Well, I don't know. I just think it's a property that somebody owns, and they see it as an IP of value. We can keep. Maybe if we get Linda Hamilton back, it'll turn everything around.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know. I'm going to look up Terminator Genesis and because I'm pretty sure it took a huge bath. Production budget was $155 million. It made $90 million domestic, but it made worldwide. It made $440, which means if you cut it in half, it made money or at least broke even.
Yeah.
So, again, the rest of the world is fucking us. No, it's just everybody's fucking us on something like this.
Now,
everybody's fucking us.
Yeah.
If you could go back a year and a half and James Cameron comes out and says, I'm pressing pause on all this Avatar bullshit and I'm going to save the Terminator franchise by personally directing a story I write with new technology I invent, then I'm all in.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not, it's not what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's putting all his creative energies towards Avatar, which is a series I hate.
Yep.
Yeah.
November 8th, Dr. Sleep, the sequel to The Shining, essentially. Mike Flanagan, who directed the Haunting of Hill House series, Oculus, Before I Wake, Ouija, Origin of Evil, Gerald's Game, all behind this. Ewan McGregor is grown-up Danny Torrance.
Mm-hmm.
This trailer didn't tell me much. It just, other than he's going back to the Overlook.
You know what this trailer did? It reminded me of the movie version of Ready Player One.
Yeah, it did.
There's so much original Shining footage,
right?
And I guess that's how the novel went. But yeah, it didn't do much for me.
Yeah.
The Mike Flanagan and The Haunting of Hill House being so great, I haven't seen it yet, but it got such rave reviews. That's, in my mind, the only reason to check this out. If you hadn't told me he directed it, I would have already tuned it out.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I expect very much.
The book got very positive reviews. So I think that's the reason, and I love The Shining so much. Obviously, this is going to be a very different cinematic voyage than The Shining, but I'll probably go see it.
Yeah, we're talking 39 years since the movie came out. So yeah, weird one. Then there's Last Christmas, Paul Feig, who did Bridesmaids and Ghostbusters. Amelia Clarke and Henry Golding from Crazy Rich Asians with Emma Thompson. It's a romantic comedy. It looked like Serendipity to me.
Yeah. Emma Thompson wrote it too. It looked like it had a little more than your typical rom-com. To me, it looked to me like a cross between Bridget Jones's Diary, which I really like as a movie, and like a traditional Serendipity type of thing. So with Paul Feig, he's kind of my jam. Like, there's a few things, like Bridesmaids is not perfect to me, but I really like The Heat. I love Spy. Like, he's got a pretty good track record. So I'm not gonna be running out of to see this in the theater, but maybe good.
Yeah, I mean, Amelia Clarke looks adorable in this, and I like Henry Golding a lot.
Oh, she's sick.
Is she sick?
Yeah. So you got a sick guy is bumping six.
That doesn't make it better.
No.
Also, I realize holiday movies all do this, but that is a shit title.
Yeah, it is.
I could have. Well, there's a Black Christmas coming out later on.
Yep.
Oh, this is weird. So that title thinks of Wham, right? Last Christmas, I gave him my heart.
Sure.
The trailer says featuring the songs of George Michael, because Freedom 90 plays later on in the trailer. So I guess this is going to be like also a collection of George Michael songs.
Yeah,
that part was very weird.
Yeah, well, that seems to be like a thing these days now, where we're gonna put only the music of a certain artist under. I don't know.
I mean, I love George Michael, so I'm fine with it.
But yeah, Last Christmas is one of the most generic titles ever. You type that in the IMDb, you're going to come up with at least 10 movies that are named that.
And one song.
But there's also all these other Christmas movies that always come out. There's an Almost Christmas. There's there's just a million Christmas movies. And why do we do this? Like, if I'm at a studio and they're about to say, let's call this Last Christmas, I'd be like, no.
Before the fist hits the table.
I would dive underneath the stamp and there would be this approved on my chest. Because nobody remembers that title. And I know it's hard to come up with stuff a lot of times that's original and makes you want to go see it and all that. Well, we just go ahead and go the easy way around. Yeah, stop with this. The Last Christmas? Give me a fucking break.
You call it Cancer Girl Works at Asian
Call
store.
it,
yeah, exactly.
Khaleesi Diseasy.
I hope that came up.
Oh my God.
In the writer's room.
Fuck me, man. We'd have seen that movie.
Fuck yeah.
Like, oh man. See, that's why we need to get hired. We aren't going to top that one for the rest of this one. Also coming out on November 8th, we have Midway, Roland Emmerich's.
I loved your email. I'm sure Roland Emmerich will find some human stories to tell under this or whatever you said.
Yes, Pearl Harbor story.
This is going to be 2.5 hours of World War II exploding noise.
This is the battle that happened like 6 months after Pearl Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
The Battle of Midway. This was yet another supposed surprise attack that the Japanese were going to undertake. And yeah, I mean, to me, like it came off as Roland Emmerich once again wanting to try to one up his buddy, not his buddy, or his rival Michael Bay. Like Michael Bay did that Pearl Harbor movie. Well, now I'm going to do the story that's after Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, I'm just going to have his story in the first 5 minutes of my shit.
Yeah. Finally, there is a movie that I think every wrestler or big man has to do when he's starting his acting career. Playing with Fire. John Cena is a firefighter who has to babysit kids or something.
It's not a tumor.
Yeah, exactly.
It's basically kindergarten fireman.
Kindergarten cop. You have the pacifier Vin Diesel did. You had the Tooth Fairy that The Rock did.
Yep. Everybody's
Everybody's got to go by this trial by fire through the children's entertainment gamut here. I think Keegan-Michael Key is in this, and what's her name who plays what's her name in Deadpool?
Zazie Beetz?
No, it's the Megasonic.
Oh, I don't know that.
Teenage Warhead.
Yeah. And also John Leguizamo, who looks the exact same as he did 20 years ago, is in this movie.
It's Brianna Hildebrand, who plays Negasonic Teenage Warhead in Deadpool. Has longer hair in this, hardly recognizable.
I know.
But yeah, he's got to be a firefighter and babysit kids.
As you do.
November 15th, there's a movie called All Rise, which I did not see the trailer for.
I bet it's about a courtroom something.
It is. It's John David Washington's in it. It's about a kid who gets accused of murder, but there was no trailer for it, so I don't know. I didn't see. There's a bunch of people in it, but John David Washington seemed like to be the main. I don't know if he was the main guy.
And it's weird because there's a brand new series called All Rise that's coming out on some network.
CBS, I think.
CBS, and just a bad title. It looks like it's probably a pretty, heavy and important movie, but yeah. Then we have a reboot of Charlie's Angels. Are you excited for that? You're 1/3 excited.
One reason.
Kristen Stewart.
That's what I'm saying.
She looks like she's having fun, man.
Yeah.
She's when she was on screen in that trailer. Now, granted, the trailer I saw for this felt like it was 5.5 minutes long. And it felt like because I honestly finished that trailer and thought for sure this was a new series. I didn't know it was a 2-hour movie. It felt like they showed me so many different costume changes and settings and. So I don't know. I don't know about any of it, except Kristen Stewart was having fun, and I like her. I like her in general, I like, okay, did you see the trailer for that underwater movie that she's in, where she goes 6 miles underwater, and then it's basically aliens?
No. What is that?
Did
you see this?
I think it's called Underwater. It probably comes out in February or something, which is probably when they're talking about it. The trailer just came out. And I'll go see that, because she looks like she's having fun. Yeah. I mean, it's not a comedy or anything. But no, I think this Charlie's Angels movie is going to suck.
Yeah. Man, I mean, I kind of like, I know you guys hate it, but I kind of like that first reboot that they did with Drew Barrymore and Cameron Diaz. And,
that movie
I enjoyed it.
It was okay. Those movies are the reason we have Terminator Salvation.
No, I agree.
Yep.
But no, Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, I think, is the reason that we have Terminator.
Well, McG directed both the Charlie's Angels movies.
That's
all I mean.
McG became a thing because of Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
But yeah, those movies are mindless fun, and those actresses are all fun too. The ones that are in this, I'm not terribly familiar with. I know Naomi Scott played Jasmine in Aladdin earlier this summer. I don't know the other girl that's in this, but Elizabeth Banks wrote and directed and stars in this. So
apparently she's going to reveal that there's a Charlie's Angels universe. Like there's multiple Bosleys, and she's just one of the many Bosleys. So there will be angels that are different from the three we see. We also there was a whole TV show reboot in the middle of all this with the girl from Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
Oh, Minka Kelly?
Minka Kelly. And that didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So I just wonder if there's,
Elizabeth Banks needs to channel her talent to something original and not Pitch Perfect 9.
Yeah.
And not Charlie's Angels reboot.
I agree.
Because she's funny and she's good.
This
talented.
could be her way of getting the money to do that, though. If it becomes a big
true.
hit, that movie is called Underwater, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Also on November 15th, Ford v Ferrari. This is James Mangold's new one. Matt Damon and Christian Bale are in this, and I guess they're trying to make a Ford beat a Ferrari in the Le Mans race, which is something that I think Europeans get excited about, but nobody over here does.
Yeah, this is this prestige movie. I've been reading about this for a while. It feels like it should be awesome, and I'm kind of expecting it to not be.
Yeah. There's just so much talent behind this, and it's an interesting story.
Well, and it also is coming, unfortunately, on the heels of that Ron Howard racing movie about two rival drivers.
Rush, yeah.
And I think marketing-wise, it's hard to sell this Ford v Ferrari to the American public as anything but two guys, old-timey racing rivalry.
But when those two guys are Christian Bale and Matt Damon, I think you're going to get some footholds.
I don't know, man. I mean, I am beginning to doubt Christian Bale is a box office draw.
No, I think Matt Damon is the box office draw, but I think you have the star power of Damon, and then you have the chops of Bale.
Maybe. I mean, I want it to be great. I just we did the whole. Did we run down the whole James Mangold thing at some point? So I feel like he's due for a miss.
He might be. I think this movie has a better chance to succeed than Rush did, because Rush kind of got dumped on wherever it was. I remember it coming out going, really? And then I didn't even know Ron Howard directed it. It was almost like he wasn't proud of it. And it's one of his best movies. So the next one that I have on the list is The Good Liar. Ian McKellen and Helen Mirren. This is Bill Condon, who did Dreamgirls and Gods and Monsters. Ian McKellen, I guess it's a online dating, some sort of thing that he gets with Helen Mirren. And but he's got secrets, man. He's got dark secrets, and that's what the movie's about.
Yeah, I wrote the description is Dirty Rotten Scoundrels for olds.
Ooh, oh, yeah. Is it more comedic, you think?
No, it's like it's serious, but it's basically the trailer indicates maybe Helen Mirren is not the innocent victim here, and it looks like Ian McKellen may be getting in too deep, and maybe the tables will turn and that kind of thing. It looks fine. Looks fine.
Okay.
And then we have a movie called The Report. Scott Burns, who was best known as doing a bunch of Soderbergh movies. He wrote a bunch of Soderbergh movies. Adam Driver is in this. It's about the torture of prisoners after 9/11. It's supposed to be on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for this, and I wonder how many dramas in close succession we can take where it's about a newspaper uncovering something terrible that America did. I mean, we already had Spotlight, which was better than almost any of them, and then The Post, and there's even another one that's somewhere in there that was like The Post, and now this is about uncovering. Yeah, it's just
yeah.
I like Adam Driver though, so we'll see.
Yeah, one of the revelations though is that they tortured with this one guy 183 times, waterboarding him, and they had already had the information and everything. So yeah, I mean it's going to be an important story, but whether it's good or not,
It probably won't make as much money as his other movie he's got coming out.
Yeah. Maybe just a little, scotch a little lower.
Yeah. November 22nd, we have 21 Bridges. We also talked about this movie in the summer preview. It was called 16 Bridges at one time.
But then I still don't know how that happened.
I don't either. Unless they said, the only thing that I can think of is they made this movie, and then somebody who's like a Cinemasins for New York was like, there's actually 21 bridges.
Halt the production.
Now the Russo brothers are involved in this, right?
They're producers.
Okay, that's what I thought.
The director is Brian Kirk, who I don't think I found any like notables for him, but yeah, it's Chadwick Boseman, and it's I think there's a robbery of some sort, and I guess cops are corrupt again.
And he's going to shut down the city.
And it's pretty much what I think is what it is. He shuts down all the bridges, and it looks good. It looks like a good movie. It's not a movie I'm going to go out to seek out.
And there's one part where he's talking on the radio and he says, "Shut down all the garbage compactors on the detention level."
Yeah, exactly. Then I guess, no, there's a couple big ones on November 22nd. A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, which is Tom Hanks playing Fred Rogers.
I'm sure it'll be great.
And
care.
It looks like it almost looks like how Sully was done. Like it looks like he's talking to one main character all the way throughout.
He is, and it's a reporter who's skeptical that Mr. Rogers matters. And through the course of interviewing him and spending a few days with him, he ends up thinking he's Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't.
And there's a whole thing at the end where the reporter's like, "Do you think you're a hero?" And then of course Tom Hanks is like about to answer, and then the trailer goes to the, and I'm expecting him to say yes.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. Yeah, bitch,
I am a hero. Then Disney continues their domination with Frozen 2. The trailer does not get me excited about it at all.
What do you suppose was the reason for the gap in this sequel? Because this Frozen was 5 years ago, right?
It was 2013, so it'll be 6 years when it comes out. And yeah, I don't know what the gap is.
The first Frozen was like maybe the biggest hit Disney had in ages.
Mm-hmm.
It was a colossal mega hit.
Yeah, they even re-released it with like the song lyrics and everything.
We need to talk about re-releasing with extra things.
Yeah,
we do.
Yeah.
That may be a rant section.
Spider-Man Far From Home is re-releasing with an action scene they cut from the original film.
Oh God,
it's like adding a deleted scene. Pay us money to come see it again, dicks.
Yeah.
God, I hate it. Anyway, it feels like they waited too long on Frozen 2, and their core audience has maybe grown up a little too much now. And I don't
That's
know.
a good point, because it was such a phenomenon with that sect. I loved the first one. Did you guys like the first one?
Yeah, just by the time I saw it, it had already become a phenomenon, and so then it was just like, well, what is everybody raving about?
The thing, though, is that even though the core audience is older now, there are still people who are showing that movie to their kids who are 3 and 4. They're going to want to see the sequel.
Yeah.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. It's a Thanksgiving release. I used to think that movies that they came out with around Thanksgiving were not, they didn't feel very proud of, but that's until they put out Moana around that time, and Moana did so well. So now that, it used to be Thanksgiving movies were not good.
I think Moana may be a bigger deal than we realize, because they just announced 2 new park areas at Disney World, and one is going to be like Avengers Land and one is a Moana Land.
Oh, yeah?
And I was like, God, they're making a whole... Like when I was there a couple years back, there was like a Finding Nemo section, and that was one movie, but that was a huge ass hit that everybody knew, everybody loved. I thought Moana was a hit, and then it went away. But I have this feeling like it's stuck around, and maybe there's going to be like a Broadway version. Because they're building
I very much think there'll be a Broadway version.
If there's a theme park land developed for Moana, there's got to be a reason.
Look, there's a common thread when it comes to these Disney movies that are enduring, and it's the music. And when you have good music, when you have a Let It Go, when you have a what is the big song from Moana? How Far I'll Go.
How Far I'll Go.
When you have those, or you have a Beauty and the Beast song, an Aladdin song, stuff like that, that's what sticks with you. Finding Nemo, yeah, people love that, but they're not adoring it. Like they connect with the music and the characters through
that's
that.
I can see that.
Yeah. Lion King,
Yeah. Coming out on the actual Thanksgiving week, November 27th, we have Knives Out.
Ooh, baby.
Ryan Johnson's new one looks fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I would say this was the best trailer of all the ones I watched for this prep show.
Yeah.
The Lighthouse is up there, but this is so
as
good.
far as entertainment value concerned, Knives Out is probably the one.
I mean, such a great cast, so many people playing opposite how you're used to seeing them.
Yeah.
There appears to be like an Agatha Christie kind of whodunit vibey kind of.
That's my shit right there.
I'm telling you, man, I think this could be like a career-defining work for him.
Yes, we don't get enough of these mysteries, especially in like these bottle episode type of movies.
Well, and if you go back, so like before Looper and The Last Jedi, Ryan Johnson was known for like tight capers, Brick, and I just feel like this is that kind of movie with a budget and a bigger cast. I'm really excited to see this.
Looks beautiful.
Chris Evans, fuck you, and fuck you.
Definitely fuck you.
It looks great. This is one that I will want to see in theaters for sure, even though I don't know if the rest of the world is going to.
I don't know. No, this is an opening nighter for me.
Those dark comedies don't really do very well, and they always seem to try to come out with these on Thanksgiving. I don't know why. But it looks great. I can't wait to see it. Then we have another movie called Queen and Slim. Daniel Kaluuya's in it. It's about a guy and a girl on our first date who get pulled over by cops and then, in self-defense, kill the cop. And then they go on this big, huge, did you see this trailer?
Mm-hmm.
They go on this big road trip, basically, on the lam, essentially.
Somebody even calls them the Black Bonnie and Clyde in that trailer.
Yep.
Yeah. I liked the trailer.
Yeah.
And it does, obviously, just from this fall preview, we're seeing like race and police encounters is like becoming more and more of a theme, as it should be, because it's more and more of an issue in the real world. So I'll check it out. It may not be a see it in theaters kind of thing, but I liked the idea that, because I feel like an average movie, or maybe just a 90s movie, would have been wrapped up in his arrest and court case and finding a lawyer and picking the jury. Whereas this one just left turns. They go on the run. And she even says something like, we can't get caught if they never find us.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, this sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah. And it's a kind of an interesting dynamic, too, because they're on their first date. They don't really know each other.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those things where by the end of it, they're going to feel like they've known each other for 3 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And, interesting concept there. December 6th, the first week of December is always a garbage dump, and we have two movies that are big, that are supposed to be the big releases for this, but they were also in our summer preview, and they were both scheduled in August. Brahms, The Boy 2, the original The Boy.
Did you watched it?
Yeah, it's I didn't like it. I thought the twist of it was pretty good. So I can see why they made the sequel. Brahms is the name of the boy.
Yeah. I was thinking it was about the composer.
Well,
I was like, ooh.
Well, when we did the summer preview back in like May or whatever, and this was on the schedule, I had not seen The Boy at that point. And I was like, well, yeah, what the hell is that? And then somebody on Facebook was like, that's the name of the kid. But there's no trailer for this still.
Yeah.
So it may not come out on December 6th. Another one that was also supposed to come out was Playmobil, the movie, or, the Lego movie, trying to be the Lego movie.
Except without humor, like really leaning into like just standard animated fare.
Yeah.
What is it?
Playmobil, the movie.
It's another Lego movie, essentially. I mean, it's not the same brand.
Yeah.
It's like if there were a funny movie from Transformers and then we had a GoBots that came out or something. I'm not familiar with Playmobil, though. They're not Legos, though.
They're like, oh, they're not Legos. It's like the little figurines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the same kind of concept as a Lego type of thing.
And then there's a movie called Portrait of a Lady on Fire that's coming out. It's Victorian lesbian stuff. No, I'm just kidding. It
is.
It's basically what it is. It's about a woman who's hired to follow this other woman and draw pictures of her. And as the story goes along, they start falling in love with each other. And that's all I really got from that.
This lady's on fire.
December 13th, the second remake of Black Christmas.
Oh, this is the second remake.
Yeah.
Because I was joking that there's a million Black Christmases out there.
Yeah, this is the third iteration of Black Christmas. There was a movie in 1974 and there was another one in 2006 that had Michelle Trachtenberg.
Yeah.
But Carrie Elways and Imogen Poots is in this one. It's about an escaped killer who comes to kill people on Christmas
at a sorority house, right?
I guess I don't know.
Is it funny?
I don't think it is. I think it's a straight up
it's like
horror
a
movie.
Christmas horror movie.
Yeah,
like the Krampus.
Yeah, I guess except
that's
without
a whole subgenre.
Except without the fantastical elements of it.
Okay,
But yeah, this has been done. This is the third time it's been done. Jumanji, The Next Level. Jake Kasdan's back to direct on this.
This trailer makes me laugh.
Yeah, it made me laugh as well. And the reason why is they've made everybody act differently because they're different people.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart doing Danny Glover
is awesome.
Is hilarious.
Almost better than The Rock doing Danny DeVito.
Yes.
The way he says it's Florida. It sounds like they obviously did some work, I think.
Yeah.
And then we don't even see where Jack Black ends up. Well, we do. Jack Black is Fridge. We don't even see. There's two of them that we don't even know where they've ended up yet because they're not in the trailer in Jumanji. And then I think Nick Jonas is back too. So the first one was such a surprise because it should have sucked, but it was funny until the last 20 minutes. I can't watch the last 20. It's just noise.
Yeah.
But this one looks pretty funny, and I thought they were just going to mix up the four main characters and have them all this time. Kevin Hart is the Fridge is in the Rock's body, and the nerdy kids and Kevin Hart. But no, they went the extra mile with Danny DeVito and Danny Glover. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, you didn't think too much about this trailer, did you?
I mean, I see what you guys are saying. I think a whole movie of The Rock trying to act like Danny DeVito is probably going to wear a little thin.
Could.
So hopefully they maybe did a lighter touch on his character.
Although I thought the same thing about how Jack Black was going to play the teenage girl.
That's true.
And they found a way to make it where it wasn't so annoying all the way through.
I haven't had bread since I was 9.
We also have Terrence Malick returning again with a movie called A Hidden Life.
This looks amazing.
Looks so good.
Did you see this trailer?
Like visually, or the movie looks good? I didn't see this trailer.
Visually amazing. The story sounds good too because it's about a German who decides to defy Hitler and how he has to go to jail for it and everything.
Well, his movies always look great, and they're just hit or miss for me story wise. So
this is an amazing. I think it's an Austrian guy. If we're
Austrian,
yeah. Nobody in here that I've heard of, by the way.
Yeah.
Except for I don't know, one of the tertiary characters is playing a bishop that I know, Michael Nyqvist.
Oh yeah.
But the story, and you can see the courage. He's not actively opposing them. He's just choosing not to participate. And
like a
for
conscientious objector.
Yeah, and for that, he's saying, I have a moral obligation. I'm going to work on my farm. And for that, he gets jailed. Somebody saying, I know what's going on. I choose not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that will be pretty powerful.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and you could be right. It could end up being one of these where it's very ponderous, and let's look at Lake for a while, and he's in jail, and he's writing letters just like in The Thin Red Line, and all that. But I'm going to watch this. This is the first Malick I've been really interested in since maybe The Tree of Life or something like that. And, it depends on what you thought about The Tree of Life, but I remember being very amped to see that one at least. In the last couple, he's just kind of under the radar, came out with a couple of other movies, but this looks good.
That's so weird, though, that dude took so much time off. Because I remember when The Thin Red Line came out, that's all anyone could talk about. He hasn't made a movie for 30 years.
Yeah.
And now he just makes one every other year, like a normal director. Whatever that break was, it gave him what he needed, and now he's just a regular filmmaker.
Yeah. December 20th, we have Bombshell, which is about the Roger Ailes sexual harassment case and everything.
Okay, so I'm going to confess something. I watched this trailer. This is the one where the three of them get on the elevator. Right?
Yep.
And the whole time I kept going, I can't believe Charlize Theron had work done and no one's talking about this.
Yeah.
And then it gets to the end of the trailer and I realize she's playing a real person and she has makeup on so that she looks more like the historical person.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize right at first that it was based on a real thing.
Yeah.
Well, you don't see until the very end shot.
Yeah, she's playing Megyn Kelly.
Yeah, so she doesn't look like she's had work done. She looks like Megyn Kelly.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought she had too. When they said Charlize Theron and they showed her, I was like, whoa,
yeah, that's not her.
whoa. Nicole Kidman is in this, and Margot Robbie is in this, and yeah, about the Roger Ailes thing. That's all we saw was this thing in the elevator where they're all just kind of like hanging out.
I thought that was very effective.
Yeah.
Because you can feel the tension in there.
Mhm.
Well, and
between
the idea
three
that
executives.
yeah, well, and they've all seen some shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to work my way around to the big one here on December 20th. But Super Intelligence, Ben Falcone, with who's the husband of Melissa McCarthy, they made a movie called Super Intelligence. No trailer for this, but it's about someone who is picked to be observed by a new artificial intelligence. That's all I know about it.
And that person is Melissa McCarthy.
And that's Melissa McCarthy.
And right now it's rated PG.
Is it now?
Maybe this is a good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to like
rein her in a
little bit.
Where she doesn't rely on saying fuck 500 times.
Yeah.
Hey,
but I don't know.
Maybe it's not a comedy.
Yeah, it could be.
Sounds like Ex Machina 2, by the way, from the pitch.
That's true.
Then we have probably the most detested trailer on YouTube I have ever seen. Cats.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Hooper, who directed King's Speech and Les Miserables. Okay. Am I wrong? I'm not saying this movie's going to be good, but it's not nearly as bad as it's being portrayed.
You've seen the musical, like the actual
I've never
play,
seen
right?
the musical.
Have you seen the play?
No, because by the time I was old enough to know what a musical was, Cats was already the joke musical that had been running for forever and nobody actually went to go see.
Well, if this is the play, it's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be perfectly fine. The CG may be creepy, but so is the cat's costumes and everything on the stage.
And Jennifer Hudson is belting the hell out of that memory
God.
The music is fucking great in this movie, in this play. So I think it'll be fine. People will get used to how they look.
This is one of those.
I won't watch it.
This is one of those where I feel very like on an island when I watch a trailer that's gotten that much publicity for being bad. Because I'll watch it and I'll go, yeah, there's some kind of creepy things in here, whatever. I'm going to watch it because Idris Elba's in it.
Mm-hmm.
You have Judi Dench.
Oh, yeah.
Taylor Swift. I'm going to watch all of this. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Now it may bomb because because of the horrible stink it has now because of this trailer and how everybody reacted to it. It's got more dislikes and a disproportionate amount of dislikes to likes on YouTube.
I mean, but
Some of that is just viral behavior.
Of course. But it's perfect counter programming. I mean, you cannot get more polar opposite, stereotypically, between Cats fans and Star Wars fans. So, who knows? It probably Star Wars is going to suck up so much oxygen in the room that I don't think it can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be in theaters over the period of time, but I don't know.
It might be a sneaky hit.
I think I was just going to say that, and I wish I had because now you said it first. I think just Taylor Swift fans alone are going to make this a profitable movie. Because what was the last movie role she had that was even close to a large role?
She was in a 2014 sci-fi movie that I forget.
Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
In a sci-fi movie?
Yeah.
Why am I not watching that right now?
I don't know. I'll send it to you.
All right.
She was in Valentine's Day.
Well, that's the one I was thinking of, and she's not necessarily known for her acting. So this is a chance where she, I'm guessing, is going to get to do some singing.
Oh, yeah.
And the Swifties are a bigger group today than they were whenever fucking Valentine's Day came out. There's tens and tens of millions of them. And I bet you a lot of them don't care so much about Star Wars.
I just get the sense this is going to be a sneaky hit, even after that terrible trailer landing. It's one of those things where, the people on the internet who watch trailers are the ones who are trying to drive this narrative, whereas people who don't give a shit about that are like, that looks good to me.
That's the other. I tell myself every single day when I see something on Twitter that is getting more attention than I think it should or annoys me, I just say, you know what? It's just Twitter.
Yeah.
It is not representative of America as a whole or the world as a whole. And so when that Cats trailer hit, I swear to God, there are people who just look for what people are making fun of on Twitter and then pile on.
Yeah.
Oh, they're making fun of that Cats trailer, and then it becomes a contest. Who can make the funniest meme? Who can grab the screen grab that makes them look the ugliest or what have you? And I just think it was that lightning strike of everyone wanted to make that joke that day.
Yeah.
But I bet you half the people that made the joke don't really care about the movie or didn't think it looked bad. They just wanted to make a joke everybody else was making.
A common joke being said in the comments was, you owe Will Smith and the Aladdin trailer an apology. And guess what? Aladdin is one of the biggest movies of the year.
Exactly. And everybody made jokes about that fucking genie in the single shot we saw. Then when we got the first trailer, then when they released him doing the song, we all made fun of it.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
Yeah.
We made all the money.
Yeah, it did. And then Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker comes out December 25th.
Have you seen the footage from?
I have
D23 with the bendy lightsaber.
The bendy lightsaber, yes.
And the dark ray.
Yeah, and the fight on the ocean or whatever.
So I'm seeing two things: people saying that she's going to turn to the dark side, or people saying that this is just a vision like Luke had on Dagobah.
Mm-hmm.
I want to throw something out there. Because haven't we been thinking collectively as Star Wars fans, but also in this room, that maybe the theme of these movies is that being all Jedi good or being all Sith dark isn't really healthy as a Force wielder, and that maybe being in the gray area is where they're going to end up? So why couldn't she have a red lightsaber if she's ditched being a Jedi? Doesn't have to mean that she's a Sith just because she's got a red lightsaber.
It's just like the girl at the end of Grease. Where she gets all latex up and shit. Starts smoking.
I'm just saying, if the conclusion for Rey is going to be Sith are bad, Jedi are bad, let's just be Force users, we'll call ourselves Skywalkers, which I've seen as a popular theory. Why does a red lightsaber have to mean anything?
You're absolutely right. I mean, the whole series is preaching balance.
Yeah.
And nobody has ever been in the middle. They've all been one side or the other.
Yeah,
so, you're absolutely right.
I just don't think it's going to be so easy. Now, if it is just a vision like Luke had on Dagobah, then JJ hasn't shaken any of his sameness that he did with Force Awakens and New Hope.
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, but I'm fine because Force Awakens is...
I like Force Awakens.
Is awesome.
Yeah, I'm just saying if it is a vision, you shouldn't have put it in this teaser footage.
That's true. This is the most excited I've been for a Star Wars movie since maybe Force Awakens.
Did you see that shot in the blue lightning night sky with like 3,000 Star Destroyers all lined up in a grid like they were individual soldiers?
Yes, I did.
Fuck me! I want to see that so bad.
Does this movie beat Endgame?
What is Endgame up to now?
I think it's like at 800, 900 maybe?
Where did Last Jedi end up? Or was Force Awakens bigger than Last Jedi?
Force Awakens was bigger than Last Jedi.
That's what I thought.
Let's look at some...
I'm going to say no.
I don't think so. I think there's been a little too much stank on it from the
Last
stories
Jedi
and The Last Jedi.
Again, I didn't love it, but I don't understand all those people who have spent their lives since just hating on it.
I agree.
It makes no sense to me, but some of those people will not go see this one.
Yeah. Well, they'll probably go see it.
No Marvel fan saw Infinity War and said, "You fucked it up. I'm not going to Endgame anymore." Right? They consistently got better and better right up to the end. Whereas at least a portion of Last Jedi viewers did not like it.
Yeah.
That's going to linger for some. Maybe not you, maybe not me, maybe not completionists, but some people out there.
No,
I swear to God, the kids 20 and under today have not glommed onto Star Wars the way we did.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to show.
Endgame is at 858 for domestic and 2.7 billion
Jesus.
for the worldwide. Last Jedi made 620 million, and Force Awakens made 936 million.
So Force Awakens made more money domestic than Endgame.
Yes, and Endgame made more worldwide because it's Force Awakens made 2 billion, and that's the thing that we discovered through, I think, Last Jedi, is that worldwide this movie franchise isn't as big as you would think it is.
Yeah.
Even though it still goes on to make billions of dollars, it's still popular everywhere else. But there's pockets that are not big on Star Wars. But yeah, 2 billion worldwide for Force Awakens, 936 domestic, and then Last Jedi 620 made 1.3 billion. That was a huge miss for Disney. I'm sure they were hoping for way more on Last Jedi. The word of mouth on that movie really, it's just to show you how awesome Star Wars brand is, that a $620 million movie is a disappointment.
Yep.
December 25th, the actual Christmas day, we have a new adaptation of Little Women. Greta Gerwig directed this. There's 1 million people in it. It looks, I enjoyed the last Little Women that came out, the 1994 when Winona Ryder and all them. This looks luscious and great.
It does.
I'm excited to see this, even though it's yet another adaptation of a familiar story. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Timothy Chalamet's in this, Saoirse Ronan, Emma Watson.
Yeah.
Did I get the right Emma?
Yeah.
It just has a really good Meryl Streep has a trailer stealing moment where she basically is chastising one of the girls. You need a husband, blah, blah, blah. And she says, well, you don't have a husband. And she says, that's because I'm rich.
Yeah. And Florence Pugh's in this too.
Yeah.
And
girl from Sharp Objects, the youngest daughter who played Amma.
We talked about her recently. I can't remember the name.
I can never remember her name.
Yeah.
But she's in this too. Looks great. It looked better visually than I was expecting. Because it is, I always think, when I think Little Women, I always think of that Winona Ryder, Susan Sarandon version. My wife loves that. And that movie's not, apologies to whoever worked on that movie, that movie's not trying to wow you with cinematography as much as it's trying to tell a simple story about regular people dealing with regular issues. This looks like it could be the visual awesome along with the acting awesome.
Yes,
that's my gestures for acting awesome.
But Eliza Scanlon is the name of that. But yeah, it looks really good. I think that might be another one that's kind of sneaks in and is a decent hit too, because it looks great. It's got a lot of people that we love in it. Looks good. Spies in Disguise, another animated movie. This one has Will Smith and Tom Holland as voices. Smith is a super spy that Holland turns into a pigeon.
Well, at least it's original.
Yeah.
No, I think this could be adorable. I think this could be fine.
Yeah. If Gemini Man ends up being a hit and this ends up being a hit.
Oh, Jesus, Will Smith had the best year ever.
Will Smith had the best year.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. Wow. Who would have predicted that at the beginning?
Nobody. I don't know how I don't think Gemini Man will, but if it is, just imagine.
That's awesome.
And then Sam Mendes comes out with 1917. It's a World War I movie where two guys have to go into enemy lines and find their buddies that are behind enemy lines and tell them not to make an attack, or else 1,600 people are going to die.
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
It looks incredible. The trailer's outstanding, even though it is very Dunkirky in the way that it's done. It looks great. And yeah, Sam Mendes has done more that I like than he has that I don't like. He got caught up in Bond for a little bit there, and I'm not a big Bond fan, but American Beauty and Road to Perdition, he's done gorgeous, awesome drama before.
And even, I know that Barrett and I love Jarhead. I'm not sure if you...
No, I like Jarhead. I only saw it once, but yeah, I like Jarhead.
Forgot he did that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I wrote down some other on here. We don't have to discuss them too long, but some that just don't have any release dates and they're coming out on Netflix sometimes or whatever, but wanted to mention some of these. Dolomite Is My Name is coming out on Netflix at some point. Craig Brewer is directing this. Eddie Murphy is playing Rudy Ray Moore, who was Dolomite back in the 70s. Wesley Snipes plays the director of Dolomite, and it's one of the funniest trailers I've ever seen.
It's really, really good. You mentioned it a couple weeks ago, and I hadn't seen it, but yeah, I'm down for this.
I think it's going to be awesome. It's going to get critical praise. It might even make some money, and everyone's going to say Eddie Murphy is back. And then he's going to put out Coming to America 2.
Yeah.
And it's going to suck donkey ass.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. He's got this foundation in place for a comeback because he's got also stand-up specials that are coming to Netflix.
And now hosting Saturday Night Live in the fall, too.
Yep, and he's hosting Saturday Night Live. But the part in this trailer that just it makes me uproariously laughing is when they have that scene where they're pulling intestines out or something. They're like, he's pulling the intestines out of Wesley Snipes' character. And Keegan-Michael Key is in that, and he's like, "God damn, Dolomite!" It's so good, but Eddie Murphy looks like he is just enjoying every minute in there. And I can't wait till that comes out. I really want to see that. Noah Baumbach has a movie called Marriage Story coming out with Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson.
Already awesome.
Yeah. It looks like almost kind of a Kramer versus Kramer or something like that, but I don't know. Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson have these real deep talks, it looks like, in it and everything. And Noah Baumbach, who I know has probably been, I think he's been through this divorce type of stuff, didn't he? Because he was with Jennifer Jason Leigh
and Greta Gerwig, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he is with Greta Gerwig now, but he was with Jennifer Jason Leigh at one point. I don't know if it's that kind of autobiographical type of thing, but it's about divorce. It's about a couple that looks like they're happy, but they're not. Steven Soderbergh has a movie called The Laundromat coming out. Meryl Streep and Gary Oldman are in this. Streep is a widow who is investigating insurance fraud by lawyers.
What's the last really good Steven Soderbergh movie? Side Effects?
No, I mean
people love that. Adam Driver one.
What
was the Adam Driver one?
Lucky Donkey.
Oh yeah,
Lucky Logan Lucky.
Lucky Dog.
All right, yeah,
that was good. He also did that
High Flying Bird,
the Candelabra movie, the Michael
Behind
Douglas,
the
Candelabra.
That movie's great.
Yeah.
Oh really? All right. Well, I thought that he had more hits or misses than hits.
I mean, he's certainly like doing a lot more like quote unquote experimental, not nearly as what he's doing in the 90s, but I mean, Unsane was that cell phone movie. He made the movie with a cell phone, and it's okay. Certainly not in the category that you're talking about, but I don't think he's made anything terrible.
Yeah. High Flying Bird actually got good reviews. So yeah. I'm got my head up my ass.
There was another movie that had no trailer called The Aeronauts. Eddie Redmayne and Felicity Jones are in it. Something about a hot air balloon.
Yeah.
They're having adventures. It's going to be Amazon Prime. Adventures and something. I don't know what the hell.
All right.
I didn't see the trailers. We don't know what the hell.
Fantastic balloons and where to sail them.
Yes, exactly. Dry Run is the new Todd Haynes movie. It's got Anne Hathaway, Mark Ruffalo, Bill Pullman. It's an environmental legal drama.
Well, I mean, we've got to do something about the environment, but I don't think heavy movies are the way to go. I don't think we're going to tip any scales with that.
Todd Haynes
he did Safe. He did Far From Heaven.
Oh wow!
We talked about Todd Haynes.
Makes a good pair of underwear.
Yes, we talked about Todd Haynes in our LGBT.
That's where. Okay, yeah.
He did I'm Not There. He did Carol. He did Velvet Goldmine.
Okay.
I don't know if he directed it, but he's a part of it. Yeah,
he's got bona fides.
Safe, Velvet Goldmine, Far From Heaven. Yeah, I'm Not There. And then last on my list, and I don't know if there's any others that you have, a movie called The King, which is Timothy Chalamet and Robert Pattinson, in an adaptation of Henry V, and that's supposed to come out in November, on Netflix or Amazon, one of those. So that's also supposed to come out, and yeah, that's your fall holiday.
That's
movie
right.
Preview.
You've got watching to do, people.
Yes.
Go see Khaleesi Dazizi.
Khaleesi Dazizi. We won't be beating anything as far as comedy or fake movie titles for a very long time. So, that'll do it for this week. Keep going to SinCast, presented by Cinemasins on Facebook. We have a Cinemasins Twitter. We have a Music Video Sins Twitter. We have SoundCloud. We have a Discord. If you're not on Discord, I can give you a link through Facebook.
A lot of people that love that Discord.
They do, yeah.
We've got a nice, very tight-knit community on there. Let's grow it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I keep seeing, I guess through the fact that I've given about 10 links out since I've started doing this, newer and newer voices coming on there. Discord is a thing that we can talk about this very episode.
Ooh.
Anyway, that'll do it for this week. It's Chris Atkins and Jeremy Scott and Barrett Sher. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. Comment on our episodes on our SoundCloud page. Check us out on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Reddit. And be sure to visit cinemasins.com.
Those were fucking. I thought they were. You had to do that because
No,
you would have gotten
that is.
anything
I can make my pouty comments all I want. That was exactly what he should have done, and there's no way to know which minutia each of us is going to know.
Yeah.
And I bet you if we did it again, it would be about the same, just depending on where the questions land.
Up there, up where the skies are.
Do we know who's doing the singing here?
I really think it's Trey Parker.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I wonder if he hits that note.
Nobody hits that note. That's a
Yeah, go for it.
That's a child being punched in the nuts. Nobody's actually singing on that note.
No good, so it must be good to be evil sometime. Mother. This is the one that should have been fucking nominated.
No fucking kidding.
Well, this and Uncle Fuckers is better than Blame Canada.
Yeah, I mean,
Blame
La
Canada is
Resistance.
just the cleanest song.
Yeah, exactly. It's the only one that Robin Williams could sing at the actual ceremony.
You can do it. It's all up to you. Okay, they're never going to nominate that song.
That'd be great. You know, I rewatched the Blue Jean Committee documentary now.
Yeah.
And I had forgotten that Bill Hader's like, I was trying to do something different. So I just, when I sing, I could sing high, man. And when I sing high, I sound like a woman. And it's a woman singing the whole time. But he's just getting up there like mouthing, and it's totally a woman. And she's hitting fucking high notes. And the guys are like, just don't tell him that he sounds like a woman because he will beat your ass.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you hire an award-nominated winning songwriter to help you write your silly foul-mouth songs.
Is it Menken?
Menken?
Yeah.
It was Menken, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was, or it was Shaman. Either Menken or Shaman.
It was Shaman.
Where there's like a big dum-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum, dum.
Is that the one with the wedding?
Don't you think that you need somebody? Yeah, that's the one with the wedding.
Where the somebody jumps on the cake?
Because it's raining. It starts raining, and then she fucking dies.
Yeah, she does.
From the rain.
She does. She does die. She was really singing last night, huh?
Yeah, she was.
Because she missed a couple notes.
Yes, she did. What do you think of that Lover song?
I like the song.
I love it.
I didn't watch much of the show. I just saw a video.
Oh, God. We were talking about the host was the
I
absolute
heard
worst.
he was terrible. Who even was he?
Some dude
But
that Chris hadn't even heard of.
Wasn't he like from Jersey Shore or some shit? Like, wasn't he one of the...
He said he grew up in L.A., but he had that accent.
He's one of these stand-up comics that's had like a 20-year career that you've never heard of that probably sells out arenas. Wow. Like that, what's his name, Russell Peters, who I'd never heard of before until like when I was doing real SEO stuff and I was writing about that Morgan Spurlock show.
No, yeah.
The 24 hours or a day in the life of or whatever, and one of them was Russell Peters, and I was like, who the fuck? And I started watching it, and I was like, this guy sells out arenas. This guy like is one of the most successful comedians ever, and I've never heard of him.
That's weird. Although usually the number one rated sitcom is usually like pretty average bullshit.
Yeah.
So maybe America's collective taste is just bad.
Yes.
Yeah. I was going through Travolta's like latest movies and everything, and I don't know if this movie is the movie you're talking about. Is called The Fanatic. It says rabid film.
Yeah, this is it.
Rabid film fan stalks his favorite action hero and destroys the star's life. Sounds like Misery almost.
Is that directed by Fred Durst?
It is.
Yes. And then
I said it was The Fan Meets Misery when I first heard about it.
You said that. I was looking through these like movies he's been in the last few years, and like he's done a lot of these. Like, so I went to Best Buy and I took a picture of one. I sent it to Barrett. It's called Speed Kills, and the image of the poster, like I had to send this picture because it looks like I don't even know if he posed for this picture or like or what, but he looks very not happy.
Are those boats in the water? Is that what that's supposed to be?
Speedboat racing champion and multimillionaire Ben Aronoff leads a double life that lands him in trouble with the law and drug lords.
Oh, no, the law and drug lords?
Yeah.
How do you piss off both of those groups?
I know, right?
Now, I bet you anything, tomorrow there's going to be some article about, like, the baby from Look Who's Talking. Where is he now?
Right.
All grown up.
Yeah.
In a nursing home.
The baby from Look Who's Talking is hot.
That's exactly what it's going to be.
Yeah. is 25 and smoking.
Well, they did all those when Us came out, Jordan Peele's movie. Mm-hmm. One or both of the gals that are the neighbors is played by the girls that were the babies on Friends, Ross and Rachel's baby.
Oh, shit.
Played by two different girls. They're grown up. They're 20 now, and one or both of them is in Us. But I saw maybe a half a dozen articles that were the babies that were Ross and Rachel's, all grown up. Like it was this big story, and I'm like, I don't really care. They were babies. They didn't know they were making that show. You know?
That's interesting, though.
Well, it's interesting, but it's also Hollywood nepotism.
It's also
you were a baby on a show 20 years ago. I'll cast you.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. That's true. It's not fair.
It doesn't make sense.
What about all the people that tried out for that role that weren't the baby on Friends?
Why would you leave a pony country and come to a non-pony country?
Who has a pony?
Who figures an immigrant has a pony? And then at the end of the video, she's got a call to action saying, sign the petition for the Equality Act.
Oh. I have not watched that video closely at all then. I've just listened to the song.
Yeah, it's all, the entire cast of the video is all LGBT folks.
Oh.
Except for her.
And Katy Perry.
And Katy Perry. Hey, but she kissed a girl one time and she liked it.
It's almost like the pop star thing where Andy Samberg comes like, I'm not gay. I'm not gay.
I like hanging out with gays, not gay.
Yeah, not gay.
It feels like you're narratively trying to remind the country we did come back from Pearl Harbor. It wasn't over after that.
Eat snacky s'mores.
Eat snacky s'mores.
Did I say concentration camps? I meant happy camps.
I love whenever anybody gives me notes on a narration to do it like an old timey news guy because that is that. It's so easy to break that voice up.